Hello, hello, good morning. Happy Friday. If you can hear me, drop a one in the chat, please, if you can hear me. And let me know where you are, where you're coming in from, what are you sipping on, what's good. Girl, what happened to me? Where have I been? Hey, is it Lavicia, Lavisha, Thomas? Okay, I see a one. Street is in TV. Oh, I like that name. Hello, hello. Oh, I gotta remember. I got you guys on the hardwood floor, so I gotta remember not to kick the table. I hope everybody is doing well. Happy Friday. It's November. We have less than 60 days to finish out the year, so I hope we're trying to finish it out strong. Okay, I see the ones. Thank you. Michigan. The Michiganders. Love it, love it. What are you guys sipping on? I have coffee. And then I had to do a backup coffee because I was like, I know I'm going to be on here for a minute. So, and I have some bagels, sugar bears over there. Oh my God. I've missed you guys. I've been MIA. I have one more video for Vlogtober on Becoming Tanika, which I didn't have internet for the last 2 days. Well, technically it was like over 24 hours, but it was across 2 days. And let me tell you, your smart home is not that smart when there's no internet. So Verizon said they would give me a credit for the day. There was not just an outage here, there was an outage in the area. And so I don't know, whatever magic they had to do. Somebody said behind me. So anyway, we're back up and running, but I couldn't upload the video because I was using like my bat phone for internet for like the TVs and everything else, and it wasn't going to support that. So I got you guys. I got one more day of October on Becoming Tanika for you guys. And then on Simply Tanika, I have my 4th trimester video. I already shot it. I have to finish editing it and posting it. So that'll be up on Saturday. But I have been obsessed with this the murder of Dan Markel trial. And so I've been doing that. Sugar Bear turned 5 months yesterday. And yeah, so in 1 month, he'll be his half year, which I didn't even know that was a thing until yesterday. Some friends started texting me. And so I got to get some sort of imagery photos for his half year mark. So yeah, we have Michigan. Where else? Street is in TV. Where are you coming in from? Oh my God. Liberty, come here. Come here. Nobody's out there for you. Oh my God. Sorry if you have dogs and they're barking. Yeah. So, and I'm going to do Grovember over on Becoming Tanika, but I think I'm only going to post like once or twice a week instead of trying to do it daily because next week, Sugar Bear and I are starting our routine and I'm preparing to go back to work. So I'll go back to work hey, North Carolina and Philly. Thank you, Street is in. So yes, and the Gayton family. Hi. Yeah, so we're getting our routine ready. I have been turned upside down, which is why like today I got up at 6:30 and we've been up. He's nursed once. He's eating on a wafer over there, so we'll see before he wants to be over here. He's smiling at me. Yeah, so getting up and like having our routine, getting ready for me to go back to work instead of like, I think yesterday we slept probably till 1 o'clock and then I got up. And so I've just been kind of upside down. So I'm trying to get us right side up. He's went through his like 4-month sleep regression and he had another growth spurt. So all things, I'm here, I'm home for him. So I just have been very flexible. Okay, Audra, hello. Oh, you're in Massachusetts. I don't think I knew that before. Hello, Chicagoland. Hi, Trisha. Thanks for joining. Good morning. Happy Friday. Yeah, so it has just it's been a little, I've been going with the flow, but I understand I have to get him prepared for me going back to work. I have to get myself prepared. So we're going to come up with a routine. I have to figure out like, when am I making his food, making his snacks. My friend came over yesterday, which was nice. And I was asking her like, what kind of snacks did she send? So that was helpful. I also want to do, cause he's doing baby led weaning. So the goal is, we're going to set our goals to feed him breakfast at home every day before we leave. So that's why we really got to start getting up early. So like I can do a folded egg for him or, and I can do like, I got some little French toast sticks, which he had one the other night. He loves, like a little piece of sausage, something. So he has to eat. Obviously he's going to have milk. He's going to nurse first, but I just want to make sure like he has a hearty breakfast in him. Then we go off to school, especially because it's getting colder. And so what I've decided to do is that for sure that first week that I go back, which is Thanksgiving week, he's going to work with me, like meaning to the building with me, and he's going to go to the backup daycare. So I just want to like this next week we're just going to be working on routine as far as like habit forming, or is that's not what I want to say. Like doing the exact same thing. Yeah, that's a routine. Doing the exact same thing every day so he gets used to it, you know what I mean? And so I get used to it, or I can figure out what I need to adjust, because I can't wait until the Monday that we're starting, because I'm just like, oh my God. So I'll be doing his breakfast. I'll be pumping. You know what I mean? I'll be like nursing him in the morning. What does all of that look like? Because Lord knows we have had no structure similar to that in our whole 5 months home. So we're going to get it together. Hey, Arlene. Hey, be good to all. How are you? Oh, yeah, I'm glad you got notified. You know, YouTube is a little wishy-washy. Hey, Carolyn, S. Oliver, getting into your daily, weekly routine. But yes, it did go by quick, right? It's so crazy. Yeah, it went by really, really fast. And he's like developed so much. I'm so, so grateful that I had this time with him. And now I feel, you know, I know him, you know what I mean? Like I know his patterns. I know when he's happy. I know when he's uncomfortable. So at least I feel like when I drop him off, if something is wrong when I pick him up, I'll know. And also by taking him into the office with me at the backup daycare, I can go downstairs and check on him during the day, just so, because I don't want him to feel like, you know, bye, I'll see you in 8 hours, 9 hours, or whatever. And it could just be me. So I'll check in on the monitors first and call before I just pop down. But he might be glad to see me, or it might be a thing of like, let him struggle with it and he'll get over it, you know? But I didn't do that great with the sleep training because of that, when they're like, just let them cry, which the pediatricians are saying that's what I'm like, but would the child psychologist say that? Like, I don't know, just like letting them cry is okay. And he knows I'm right in the other room. But what I figured out from that was when he's sleepy, letting him cry, he will fall asleep. It doesn't take as long. But if he's crying like 5 minutes or more, he's not sleepy. Do you know what I mean? And so that was the thing of like, because sometimes he'll fight his sleep, but if he's sleepy, even when he's trying to fight it, and he'll eventually just knock himself out like 2-3 minutes, you know? So I just want it to go smoothly. I know he won't be traumatized if he doesn't see me all day, but I just don't want to, you know, he's a very chill kid. I want to keep him chill. I don't want to be creating situations where he could potentially have anxiety or be anxious about it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, you guys can't see her. She's here. This one needs a bath today. So this weekend, I'm going to get the rest of the house together. If you guys saw my last video that I posted, I think it was this week, on Becoming Tanika, I did some deep cleaning of the kitchen. Well, some of the kitchen. Since then, I've pulled out everything from under the sink, and it's in a container. So I got to go through there, see what's good. There was a leak under there. I don't think it got to the products because I have like a plastic bin that I store. There are organizers underneath the kitchen. I just was not using them properly. Like it was overstuffed to the point of like, you pull something out and you cut, you know, close the doors quickly so avalanche of food doesn't come out, or not food. I'm looking at my bagel. An avalanche of cleaners doesn't come out. Uh-oh, this one is ready to be picked up, I think. You ready to come over here? You want to say good morning to the ladies? Okay, let me grab him. Are you okay? Are you ready to come over here? Okay, I'm coming. I got you. Yes. Okay. Or did you lose your wafer? Did you lose your wafer? Huh? Did you lose your wafer? We are still in our pajamas over here in the McKelvey household. Yes. Okay. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, cleaning. And then I have used his bathroom as a staging area to stack things in. Because that's the thing about like decluttering, reorganizing. You have to have somewhere to put the stuff when you're taking everything out, right? For it to really be like a true declutter. You can't just pick a few things. You got to take everything out and look at it. So that's been fun and interesting. But my plan is we're going to just, this weekend, that is what our project is, because I just want to be done with it. And I really just want to be able to like walk freely in my room, which I cannot do right now. It's literally, I don't know if any of you guys are from New York or have a relative who came from New York, But I remember this as a child growing up in California. My Aunt Emily was from New York. My mom's mom was from New York. I don't know if I told you guys. I'm sure I've said that. She grew up in the Bronx and she moved out to California as a teenager. Technically, I think they said she ran away, but I don't want to start rumors. Let her tell her story. Okay, Grandma. But yeah, so Aunt Emily always had like racks and stacks of stuff up against the walls, and you had to like the little path, not like on hoarders, but it. My room is like there's a path that you go through, but like you're not. You're not moving freely. Do you want me to hold it, or you don't want it anymore? I'll leave it up here. You tell me if you want some more, because it felt like you were spitting it in my hand. Okay, no, you don't want to hold it, or you just want to make sure you get to sit on my lap. So if I hold it, you're over here. Okay. Um. Yes. Okay. I have to get my son to take a bottle too. He's now 6 months. He loved mashed potatoes. Oh, nice. We haven't tried mashed potatoes. He did do a sweet potato. So we did a whole, not a whole sweet potato, but like I poached them. Actually, I baked it, but it was like a strip. And then he also did obviously like the puree sweet potato, and he liked that. But I should do potatoes and do a mashed potato. So, or I might have to do, I usually bake my potato, but maybe I can take a piece of that and mash it and put like some breast milk in it or something and mash that up. But yeah, the bottle. Yeah, so next week is going to be like double duty. I don't know. That's what I'm like. I want to clean this weekend, but I don't want to go into the week exhausted. But I also just I feel like that helps the organization when everything is clean. Honey, there's no food on my hand there, sir. Do you want this? Okay, he just wants to know on my hand right now. Yeah, so it's gonna be like triple feeding, right? I gotta breastfeed him. I have to like nurse him, pump, and also get him to have a bottle. So, because he may have had one bottle in like the last 2 weeks. I think I gave him a bottle the other day. So we'll see. All the fun things. All the fun things. Oh, thank you. I'm trying to live my life with intention. So that is, part of the plan to be as intentional as I can. I want to be a mother. Like I want to mother him with intention. So I try to like think all these things through. I mean, I think that's also one of the luxuries of age. Although I will say I've seen a lot of the younger YouTubers on there who are very intentional at a young age. I was just all over the place, quite honestly, but now I just have time and patience, and so I can, have time to focus on that instead of like moving from one fire to another or waiting until things become like, oh, now I have to deal with this. So yeah, it is good. It is good. You want to say anything? Did you tell them you turned 5 months yesterday? You turned 5 months. If you guys are following me on Instagram, you saw the pictures I posted. If you're not, it's simply.tanika over on Instagram, right? Right? Yes, it is. Yes. And if you're on the replay crew and you're watching this, drop a heart in the comments below. I love shouting you guys out. Hashtag replay crew. I appreciate you. And I will leave the live chat on for you guys. So if you want to, if you're watching it later, just open up the chat box and you can see what we were talking about. Let's be good to all says hello, handsome sugar bear, and she gave you some blue hearts. Do you know what that means? You're like, no. His little hair is getting, I think his I don't know what I think. All his hair from birth is mostly gone except for the mohawk part, but we'll see. We'll see. Right? I have been getting him to wear hats, so he's been okay with that. Like, well, I think you guys saw when he wore like what is it called, bucket hat. But then for Halloween, he was a booby monster, and so he had a little cap on. He wore it for a little while. He was much more willing to wear it than my dogs were. They were frogs, and Justice kept putting her head down and trying to get out of it. And then she would get one arm out of her little, or one leg, whatever, out of her little costume. And then she would just sit there. Like when I would come, she would hear me approaching and she would just be really still. Like I couldn't see her. I finally gave up and just took it off of her. Yeah, we'll see. So did I miss anybody's comments? Okay. So we got Massachusetts, Chicago, Michigan, North Carolina, Philadelphia. No California. Oh, it's super early there right now. And we don't have any southern states either. Well, we'll see. So, hey, Rhonda, how are you? I'm just trying to do early too for the girlies around the world because I know like when we do the nighttime ones, like South Africa, UK misses it. But interestingly enough, in my demographics, India is the second highest location on my viewers. US is the first one. It used to be US, Canada, UK. Now it's US, India, and I can't remember if it's Canada third or UK third. But I thought that was interesting. It's the women of color. Hey, Miss Lex Lex, how are you? Yeah, so it's just been, oh my God, it's been a whirlwind. Honestly, it's really been a whirlwind. I would do it all over again. I'm so glad that it worked out and Sugar Bear came here and he chose me. And sometimes I feel like I get torn because I know there are some ladies on here who are not sure if they want to do like donor eggs. Obviously, the single moms by choice already are doing donor sperm. And I can't persuade anyone because I remember when I was in the position and I was like, never, ever, ever. And then I was worried of, is it going to feel strange? Like, is it not going to feel like my child? But all of that has gone away. But then again, I also have to be respectful and mindful of just because that's my experience doesn't mean everyone will have that experience. You know, I haven't talked to that many, women who are openly talking about their donor egg situation, and so yeah, like maybe two or three, honestly, and so it just gets a little tricky. And I know some people are like, oh well, it will have part of your DNA because of epigenetics, but that's not quite how it works. Like literally, there is no like if you do a DNA test, literally the donor conceived child will have none of your DNA. Like epigenetics is it impacts how their genes will be expressed, right? And so you do have an impact on them, but it's not. And I think we have to be careful about that conversation because some people have surrogates. So then they're like, oh, is the surrogate's DNA going to be? No, it's how the genes are expressed. So like meaning what your vitamin intake is, but it's the same if it's your own child, right? Like if it's your own biological or own genetic, it's how healthy are you impacts how healthy the child is, which, you know, obviously if you're doing drugs, that impacts your child. So it's the same kind of thing, but it's not like your DNA. So I can't preach to anyone about it. I can only share my experience and then hope from there if people are inclined or leaning one way or the other, they can make a decision from there. But it's such a personal choice. It's such a personal decision. And I mean, for those of you guys who've been here for a minute, you know, it took me a while. Like it was probably if the pandemic hadn't happened, I don't know if I would have got there, bless you. But that the pandemic was a death of sorts for me. You know how sometimes when people die and you start thinking about all the things in your life and you kind of appreciate life a little more. It's funny how that works. Yeah, that was just made me really think of like, I don't want to walk away empty handed if I can help it. And so like I knew in my heart what was my main goal? It was to shepherd a soul, right? My goal was to shepherd. I felt like that was a calling for me. And so at that point, if I'm shepherding a soul, there's no DNA in a soul. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that this little soul chose me to be his shepherd, right? Did you pick mama? You did? Thank you. Thank you for that. I'm so grateful. So yeah, anyway, I don't know why I just went into that. That was whoever needed to hear that. Somebody needed to hear it. So yeah. uh yeah, so I guess that is really it. I just hadn't been in touch with you all and I missed you and I wanted to like see what was going on. So tell me, is anybody in the 2 week wait? Somebody in the comments, I think yesterday or the day before, told me they were in their 2 week wait, the dreaded 2 week wait. So anybody out there who's trying, who's like gearing up for a cycle, I just want to send you like baby dust and blessings and really stay hopeful. I know it gets hard. Stay hopeful. And if you need to take a break, it's okay to take a break. If you're not sure, you don't want to move forward, it's okay to, you know, not be sure. I think at this point, I'm really like gearing up for number 2. I want to make sure like my proverbial house is in order and my literal house is in order, right? So I'm getting everything organized. I got to get rid of I'm sitting in front of the sidebar. I got to get rid of that. Or is it called a sidebar? Oh my God, I've been watching too much court TV because there's a sidebar there too. You know, when the lawyers go off to the side. Is it sideboard? It's called a sideboard. Good Lord. Because it has all those glasses and he's like getting, well, he's not mobile enough to get over there, but he can move from one location to another when I set him on the floor. So I might as well go ahead and get rid of that. And then that opens up space over here, right? I can get a longer couch and maybe get like an extension on it. I'm not sure. Or put like a little table there for him. I don't know exactly what we're going to do yet, but I need to get on that. But yeah, so anyway, getting my house in order, getting the house clean, getting my finances in order, figuring out what that looks like, figuring out like setting up a fund. What is it? The cafeteria plans that they have for the kids to go to university, and there's a tax benefit in that. And just make sure that I capitalize on all tax benefits of now being a head household again and not being a single person. Because single in New York, oh my God, there's a whole extra New York City tax in addition to the New York State tax. And so I'll be getting a break on that from 2023 forward. Because he was born on June 2nd. So I'm like right at the cusp. So I can claim him for this year. Like if he had been, I think if it's June 15th or later, I wouldn't have gotten it. Something like that. I'm not an accountant. I'm just regurgitating what the CPA said. But yeah, so I just want to make sure like all that is maximized. And then looking at it, like if I plan to retire by 85, I need at least 2 million in the bank, and I'm not close to that, right? Because you have to figure out, you have to divide it up by like how many years. I think we talked about this the last live. So yeah, like what are you guys doing for your retirement plan outside of your 401k, outside of like, or in addition to, I have a 401k and then I have I can't remember what the other one called. Is it an SEP from when I was acting? There's some type of retirement account over there. And then obviously there's stocks, but that gets crazy and volatile. Look at him. He is gumming. Oh, it feels like you've got teeth coming at the top too. I thought they only did the bottom first. He might have 4 come in all at once. Okay. Sorry. I don't want you to keep chewing on my finger though, because who knows what's under these fingernails. Let's keep it 100. Let me see. Here. I mean, I did wash my hands, but yuck. Brown sugar. Hello. I learned about donor eggs from watching you and Sandra TTC 45. I had my first child last year using donor egg, and my husband's right. Yay! Everyone says my son looks like me. There you go. Yeah, everyone is like, oh my God, he looks like you. And okay, we'll go with it. I mean, I had a plan to make it that way, but yeah. So how, like, was it seamless for you? Because I think that was like my biggest fear of like, am I going to have this connection with this child? I mean, obviously you meet all your children either way. What's the matter? You dropped it? Oh, it's right here. It's right here. Here we go. Yeah, I would love to do a panel on that. I spoke on a podcast about it, and the woman who led the podcast was like, she's going through the process, and she was like, yeah, that was one of my concerns too. But again, like, it's the soul, you know? And that was an ego thing too, because for a while I was like, oh, it has to be my DNA, it has to be my genetics. But like, what makes my genetics so important? You know, like, I mean, not to discount them, but why is it enough to be a stopper? I should say it that way. Today's your transfer day. Oh my God. I'm so excited for you. Yay. Are you relaxing today? I hope you're doing something fun before and after. I was so glad to have, hey Bitsy, I was so glad to have the Valium that day. That the transfer that worked was the one where I just went home and slept. That was my first one. I had originally thought I was going to go to acupuncture, but I was like, it's too chaotic and like something was going on with the subway. So I just called her and said, I'm going to go home and lay down. Like that's what feels right. And I knocked out, and it worked. I mean, I don't know if that was the only reason why it worked, but I think I was really, willing to follow my intuition and not like do all these things that we're supposed to do, you know, especially when you've been doing it a while. You talk to everybody, what did you do on your transfer day? And what did you do? And like, you have like this whole kind of, well, I did this whole kind of schedule, and it all went by the wayside. I came home. I had some bone broth. Yeah. Oh my goodness, that sounds exciting. Yes, or you want to get down? Is that why you're kicking me? You want to say hi to the ladies? He's been standing more. My friend Felicia was practicing with him yesterday. He's been like, I don't know if I said it if you guys watched the update, like how his feet were curving and he wasn't putting weight on there because of his breech presentations. But yeah, he's been putting weight on his feet now, like continuously. He would do it sporadically before, but now, like, see, he's pushing up against my leg trying to stand up. Yes. Do you see yourself? Who's that cutie? Who's that cutie? Can you see yourself? Huh? Can I give you kisses? Okay, you want to chew on something. How about you chew on this pacifier? Let's see. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm wishing you all the best, and I'm sending so much baby dust, and I'm glad that you're here in this community of a lot of TTCers, but all of powerful women. So let's name it and claim it. I did acupuncture and plan on going home and going to sleep. Good for you. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so excited for you. Transfer day is like filled with so much hope. You know, your baby is waiting for you. Your baby is waiting. Yeah, so for those of you guys who are gearing up, I know some people are prepping for next year, wrapping up this year. I'm like focused on, like I said, getting my house in order for the rest of the end of this year, coming up with my goals. I'm going to do my dream board next month and instead of January. And then I'm going to figure out like what my body needs to get ready for a sibling for this little one. And what does that look like? I have 5 embryos left, and I'm prayerful that I don't have to go through, because he was the 5th of the 10 embryos frozen. So yeah, I hope it doesn't take another 5, but we'll see. You know, I'm gonna trust God's timing. I do feel like I'll be more. I don't know what I have going on at 10. It says up. Okay, sorry, ladies. But yeah, I just feel like I can approach it in a little bit more relaxed way. Somebody's texting me. Amazon delivery. Oh, they want me to order. No thanks, Amazon. They're reminding me that it's grocery day. But yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited about 2024. I'm excited, even more excited than 2023, even though I knew Sugar Bear was coming in 23. I just feel like unstoppable, you know? I'm like, I have clear intention and focus. I know what I want and what I don't want. And for the 75 Soft Challenge, I've been reading the, honey. Okay. I've been reading one of the Abraham Hicks books, and just really being mindful of like what is in my vibrational field and not harping on negative stuff and negative people. Like, I'm just not going to give it energy or space, do you know? And so I feel good about that too. And like, if people are annoyed or irked and I'm being like my true self, I got to let them go. I can't worry about it. And that's like the old people pleaser in me. And I know, I was thinking this morning. So any of you guys who are people pleasers or reform people pleasers, do you feel like being a people pleaser is also a form of manipulation? Like, you try to morph yourself into what they want you to be so that they'll like you? Because I guess you always have it. I don't know. I'm not going to claim it. I used to have a fear of abandonment. And so I think I would bend over backwards to accommodate people. And for some reason, I was still attracting those people. Like, if you don't do what I want you to do, then I'm going to be mad at you. And then I would change my behavior, you know? Or maybe people pleasers are easily manipulated. I don't know. There's something in there. But anyway, I'm leaving it behind. I'm not taking it into 2024. Hey, LLP Cheyenne. How is it in Vegas? You're up early. Look, one of your aunties said, hey, nephew. Yes. What's going on now? Somebody else is out. It's busy this morning. Oh, my goodness. What is going on, right? What's going on, sir? What's going on? Are you pooting on me? Are you pooting? Yes, you are. You gassy? Oh my God. My friend was like, he is pooting like an old man. I'm like, yes. Oh, good. I'm glad somebody does, because I'm like, it's just, onward, upward, all the baggage of the past. We can own it and leave it behind, Sir, what's going on? Huh? I think he might be hungry again. Let's see. Oh, okay. Are you hungry? Yes. I see. Okay. Yes. You say eat? Eat, mama? Okay. Ouch, ouch. Good Lord. Okay. This is the booby monster for real. Okay, hold on. I know. I don't know why you're... Let me do it. Okay, thank you. He's trying to take my boob. Yeah, let's just leave it all behind and go forward and be positive and powerful, and we can do so many things. And I feel like we've been setting ourselves, or setting is not the right word, but falling short because we've lowered our expectations. Like, we remember the last time you did something great, the last time you did something you were like, oh, that was hard, but I got through it. Like, that is in you always. And so I think, what is that expression of like something you're afraid? It's not that you're afraid of failing. You're afraid of success. Hold on, let me just Google this because I'm gonna butcher it. Like your greatest fear or something. Your greatest fear is success. Oh my God, I type it with one hand. Your greatest fear is not that you are inadequate. Okay, here it is. Or your deepest fear. Hold on, I'm gonna read it to you. Our deepest fear. This one is doing all the things. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. Oh God, something just popped up. Hang on. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. This one is so dramatic. Hold on, because I want to read it all at once. Let me get him settled. Okay. He does this eating dance where he's like grunting and scrunting, and you know how you dance when you get a good piece of chicken? Like, that's what he's doing. Although this one's not chicken. So our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that others won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is everywhere. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. It doesn't, it says that's a quote from Marianne Williamson, but I feel like I heard it before. Maybe it is hers. I don't know. She was the one who ran for president. Remember, like I don't think she was a psychic, but whatever. But anyway, have you guys heard of that before? Oh my God, this little one. Okay, sir. My little guy. Oh wait, the Gon family. Let's see, sir. Just a grunting. My husband wants another one. Don't think you can get your cycle while breastfeeding. Oh, didn't think you could get your cycle while breastfeeding. Guess I was right. Oh, are you pregnant and breastfeeding? What happened? Congratulations. Oh, ignore the baby. It's typing stuff. Hello, baby. Oh my god. If this one was close enough, he'd be typing too. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully that resonated with somebody on here. Somebody needed to hear it. Because I just feel like let's just be our greatest. Let's shine. Don't let anybody steal your shine. And oh, I lowered this because he's down here. Don't let anybody steal your shine. And like, let's just be our best selves in 2024 and beyond, like, and start today. If that feels overwhelming, like I don't know if I'm ready for that, like you got 60 days to like get a plan in motion, and if it doesn't go as planned, get a new plan. You know what I'm saying? Like don't hold yourself back. Hey, Neo Soul Writer, I missed that earlier. Welcome, glad to see you. So yeah, just let's all vibrate higher, lift each other up, not get stuck in minutia and pettiness. And because I think if our ability to shine our brightest, it allows other people to shine bright. The devil stays busy. So maybe the negativity comes in because those people don't know yet that they're able to shine, and they're trying to like take you down a notch, right? But what's yours is yours. Like nobody can take that from you. And so I think that's powerful. In letting our own light shine, we allow others to shine. So let's shine bright. Because then does that mean the converse is true? Like the being in darkness can drag other people in darkness? Then let's stay away. Let's stay away from the darkness, right? One step at a time. One step at a time. Someone also told me, have you guys heard this of like when a baby is moving fast, like progressing fast, I guess growing up fast, they're making room for the next one. I'm like, oh, maybe he is telling me he needs a sibling. I don't know if that's true or not. But we're doing a lot of Montessori stuff. So it teaches children to be independent or to be self-sufficient, right? That's our role as parents, is to get them to be self-sufficient. And so that's I'm also doing with intention. And like right now, if I'm folding clothes, he's with me while I'm folding clothes. I take him in the kitchen when I'm cooking and doing dishes. So eventually he'll be old enough to do that, right? And it won't seem like a chore to him because he'll be like, well, mom did it. I want to, like, kids naturally want to help their parents. So he can, I don't know how he'll fold his clothes, if they'll be great. I won't judge him, but like giving him that tool. And I can't wait to get one of those, like, I don't know what it's called. There's a proper name for it, but it's basically, there's a ladder part of it, and then there's a top part that has a box. They can come in the kitchen with you. You guys know what I'm talking about? And like they stand in there, they can mix up stuff and do that. So I'm excited for him to do that because he loves to be in the kitchen, to the point now where if like I set him in the living room and I have Miss Monica on, he'll probably tolerate it for 5 minutes. Then he wants to come into the kitchen with me. And so he'll just come in. I'll put him in the high chair, have him over there, and I'll be at the whatever this is, the breakfast bar, the center thingy, blah, 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 and cutting up stuff and talking to him. And it's nice, and I think that, like, I don't remember being in the kitchen with my mom when I was little. So, and those kinds of things. So I mean, it doesn't matter like what happened with whatever was going on when I was little. Like the point is I want to be intentional with like how he's raised and how skills are introduced to him, and not to make it like a bad thing, to be able to be self-sufficient or to do chores or to do whatever. So yeah, we'll see. Roxanne, sorry, people probably do that to you all the time. I apologize. So good to see you in Sugar Bear. I was so happy for you, and I told you that I had a miscarriage. Oh, yes. Oh, you're 5 months pregnant with the baby girl? Oh, awesome. That is so exciting. How far along were you when you miscarried the twins? And you know that it's a girl too. That's good. I think the next one I think, find out what the gender is. Mainly because if it's not a boy, I can get rid of all his clothes. But I think I'll still do a gender reveal for my family because they were kind of They kept bugging me about it. But yeah, I'm so glad your rainbow baby is on the way, Roxanne. Yasmin Flower, hello. Happy Friday. Hey, Boston. Girl TV, what's going on? The original YouTube single mom by choice. Happy Friday. Did you get into the daycare? Would you consider a nanny share? I hear they do that. I would not do a nanny share just because I don't know any other kids, but I would just probably bring somebody into my house. So he is in the daycare for January. The first When I first go back to work, he's going to go to backup daycare at my job, and then in December he'll split it between backup daycare and somebody coming into the house. And then I haven't decided yet, but I think we'll do like half and half in January when he goes to daycare, meaning like he'll go to daycare Tuesday, Thursday, and somebody will come into the house Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yeah, but I actually haven't looked into the nanny share. Like somebody had mentioned that to me. I want to say like last year when I first found this, but I think, I mean, I guess I don't really know the advantage of it. Is that like for socialization? Because then how does that work? Do they always come to your house? Do you split houses? I just don't know anybody else like with little children, so I don't know how I would go about doing that. You know what I mean? Um I mean, the goal is that if I end up pregnant next, not if, when I end up pregnant next year by 2025, they'll both be here. And so like it'll be right before before Sugar Bears too. So then having somebody come in makes sense. We'll see. The I interviewing people to come into the house, they have to be okay with the dogs though, right? Because I'm not gonna pay for the dogs to go to daycare and pay for somebody to come here. Like that is just, I can't afford that. Like that would just be crazy. And so that is it. And I'm thinking about having a male nanny too. So there's interestingly enough some black men that do nanny work. And so I was like, or they don't call them nannies, they call them sitters. It's on this thing called Sitter City. But yeah, so we'll see. But I have a plan for the immediate future. And next week we start like getting our routine down to get ready for when I go back to work. Oh, Roxanne, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. You were 6 weeks. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so you're at 5 months. Oh my God. It is so interesting. I think if someone hasn't had a miscarriage before, like they don't really know the anxiety of the pregnancy after. Like that was the one of the most challenging parts for me was to be happy and stay happy, because I kept having like in the back of my head this nagging feeling of like, don't get too excited. What if it doesn't work? Especially after 3 miscarriages. And so it is I just kept thinking like I do not want to lose the baby. And so that was hard too. And you have to strike that balance of like loving and talking to the baby, but then also like, I mean, ultimately I couldn't do it because a part of me was like keep a distance, but I couldn't. Like this little thing is growing inside, but I just was yeah, I didn't want to do it again. Especially, I guess it depends on how far along you are, of course, but like feeling your cervix open and not have it just is, it's too much. And so like 5 months, 6 months, like that's when I started to feel good about it. So I hope that you're able to enjoy, or if not, you're starting to enjoy like having and especially knowing it's a girl, like talking to her and looking forward to her movement and all, just enjoying that. I really wish at the beginning of the pregnancy I could have enjoyed it more, but there was like a lot of mental gymnastics going on. So I just took it one day at a time. But I did love being pregnant. Like I documented as much of that as I could. So I'm glad. Yeah, I took lots of pictures. I don't know. I might make an album. We'll see. We'll see. I didn't do maternity photos and I kind of wanted to, but again, it was like that hesitation of like, if something doesn't go well, I don't want to have that as a reminder. Like if I have them on my phone, I can delete those. But it was just, um, hesitation. I guess it's like when you have like a bad breakup with someone or a bad relationship that ends in a bad breakup. And then the next time you go into that, you kind of have like a trigger finger, like you're going to pull it faster if something goes wrong. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's interesting. I pray that nobody has a miscarriage, but I know it's much more common than what we talk about. Elaine, I'm glad that you made it. Oh, you'll have to do the replay at the very beginning because he was up and at him. He's on the boob and asleep right now. Otherwise, I'd lift him up. He turned 5 months yesterday. Um, and then, it was all good. It was all good. From what I hear, you pick a house and pay half for the nanny. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I'd have to figure out. Yeah, I just don't know anybody who I would, one, be like, okay, I'm dropping my baby off at their house, or two, I want their child at my house with my dogs and all my other stuff. Like, we'll see. Yeah, it is like being a big sister. And does she live close to you? I don't know. Like, my daughter says she likes being a big sister, but she hasn't seen him a lot. Like, honestly, my sister in California has seen Sugar Bear more than Cheyenne. She does not live close to me. She lives in the Bronx. So yeah, she lives in the Bronx, and I'm in Harlem. I'm in Manhattan. So she's got quite a hike, but she says, I mean, it's not her first time being a big sister because her dad has children. So she has younger siblings. Like, she's the second of six of his six children. So she already had like four younger. So she might be over it, but we'll see. Time will tell. I haven't moved forward on my IVF after another in July. I'm struggling with my journey. Oh, Elaine, I'm sorry. I mean, I know, like, the struggle is real. The struggle is real. I will just say there was a time where I had to take a break, and I know a lot of people were, quote unquote, disappointed and trying to give me pep talks. I have to give them a grace because I assume they thought that it was helpful. It was not, just to be clear. So I don't want to do that to you. Like, just go on. Like, you have to follow what's in your heart. And at the end of the day, you'll know when you've had enough. The way that I ultimately knew I wasn't done was like, am I really okay to walk away? Or will I always wonder? And I was at the point where I would always wonder, right? So I kept going, but I had to I took a year off in between transfers. So I had a transfer in September of 2021. I did not have my next transfer until 2022 because the thing is, people will tell you, be positive, you can do it. But if people haven't gone through multiple transfers, multiple miscarriages, they don't really know. And so that's what I'm saying. I'm giving them grace. They believe they're being helpful. In order to prepare for each cycle, you have to prepare for the no. And if you're not mentally ready for the no, don't move forward. If you're not mentally ready to walk away, then move forward. You know what I mean? Like, that was what it was for me. And maybe a different recipe for you, only you know. But I get having trouble with it. I mean, it would be weird if people didn't have trouble with it after like multiple failed transfers. You know what I mean? Like, I was getting mad at people who would like they would go into it and they'd announce on their channel like TTC. So I would start following them, and they're getting ready, doing their diet and exercise and all that. And then they're doing their shots, and then boom, they get pregnant on the first time, they get a take home baby. And I was just like, it's not fair. So I had to stop watching stuff like that, right? Because then I'm just triggering myself. And why am I mad that, like, that should give me hope? But that's where I was in my darkest place. So I'm just being honest. So yeah, you just have to, you'll know, you know what I mean? Nobody knows but you. Roxanne, the anxiety was horrible, but now I think I love her so much. She's already moving a lot. Oh, good. On ultrasound, she was sucking her thumb and waving her 4 fingers. The doctor was so impressed that he took a picture. Oh, I love that. Like this. Oh my God, that's so cute. Yay. Yeah, he was always active on his ultrasounds, even though I couldn't really like feel him. I mean, I felt movement, but he wasn't a kicker like how Cheyenne was a kicker. And so that was, a whole other thing. And so, but yeah. Let's see. Elaine, you have 3 frozen. I have 5. Yeah. So 3 is good. I mean, it takes one. I know people hate saying it and hearing it, but it is Miss Justice, can you get off the windowsill? Hey, Shauna. Oh, wait, I skipped over it. Sorry. Oh, wait, you have two. The first one says, "Good morning, fertility fam." Hey, hello, Shauna. Happy Friday. I'm getting back in the headspace for my next IVF cycle. Just made a list of supplements to get. Looking to do a cycle hopefully around spring, early summer. Okay, we might be cycling together, Shauna. I'm glad you're preparing yourself. Yeah. The physical helps the mental too. At least for me, it did. Like, taking, drinking enough water, having exercise, like that lifted my spirit. I'm sure, what is it, endorphins from that activity helped, staying hydrated helped. Um, yeah, so I'm glad that you're doing all of those things. And don't forget to eat well. Oh my God. All the supplements in the world won't replace like a well balanced diet. So I did that anti-inflammatory diet. I haven't been doing it lately, mainly because I got to eat everything I can to get my calories in to be able to nurse him. And I had to figure that part out. But yeah, hopefully our routine next week will help with like the regular meals, getting enough calories. But like ice cream is my jam. And if I'm short on calories for the day, I'll have ice cream at night, which has been chef's kiss. So we'll see. 5 years and still heartbroken, plus 4 miscarriages, multiple IVF and transfer. Yeah, so nobody else knows what that is for you and like what it's done to your heart and your soul. So you know, right? And so you just have to like do the soul searching and figure out like what's next. If you want another, um but definitely lifting you up from afar and sending you tons of baby dust. I will say it was worth it for me, right? It was 5 years in the making. It was 6 years from when I started, but because of the 10 months of pregnancy, right? Like I got pregnant in September of 2022. I started in May of 2017. So that part was really 5 years. And then him coming in June of 23 was how we got to the sixth. But yeah, it was worth it for me. And honestly, I feel like it prepared me to be the mom that I am. Like one, it definitely taught me patience because I was probably short on that before. Not probably, I was short on that before. And I had to do a lot of soul searching and I had time to like work on me, right? Physically, mentally, emotionally, all that, and kind of dig through some of my baggage. So I think that is going to help me be a better mom. I don't want to say everything happens for a reason because sometimes I feel like that can be trite. But for me, I found a reason in the everything happening. Do you know? I used that time to better myself. So you can't stop you want your take. That's how I felt at the end. I was like, I want my take home baby, and I know my baby is waiting. So your videos helped me to cope with the loss. Now I'm grateful to the creator for this child. Her being in me has trumped the sorrow. Exactly. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad that my videos helped. But I'm definitely, yes. Having the baby, exactly. Like it is night and day. And at that point, you're like, oh, it was all worth it. I would do it again. But going through it is difficult. It is like your mettle is tested, no doubt. It comes along with the territory, indeed. Oh my God. I am nervous to go back to work, but I'm also ready to go back to work. Like I know it was slow while I was away because, well, I guess slow in some areas, but our group would have been slow because of the writer strike. The shows weren't on. But now I see they're back and I'm like kind of itching to get in there. So there's a part of my brain that I'm not using. Uh, but also the mom brain is real. Like I have the mom brain hard. Like my friend was over yesterday and I was trying to call out Liberty's name and I called Liberty Beverly. So I feel like my brain is glitching a little bit. I'm sure it'll be fine once I get back to work, but I'm definitely ready to get back in there. Not nervous about having a lot on my plate. Like I'm used to that at work. So I feel like that's where I thrive. If I didn't have a lot to do, I would be bored. And that, when you're bored at your job, it's time to get a new job. Well, at least for me. Yeah. On the fence about doing a transfer. I have one embryo that is a low level mosaic. Talk to the genetic counselor who thinks it's worth taking a chance. Oh, that's good. If the genetic counselor thinks it's worth a chance, because I feel like they give it to you straight. You know what I mean? And I mean, I'm hard headed. Even if they're like it's a low chance, I'll take that chance. But when they're saying it's worth it, and my IVF fairy godmother, my IVF unicorn, all her children were for mosaics. The dermatologist, she was the first one to transfer mosaics, and so if the risk is low, that's why they're recommending it. And if there's anything like quote unquote, I won't say wrong, abnormal with the mosaic, they have a chance to correct themselves in utero, right? Because remember, when they're testing, they're only testing the cells that will eventually become the placenta, not the ones that will become the embryo. So, but those are just my 2 cents. It's obviously your body, and there's a reason you're on the fence. So, like, oh, you had a miscarriage and a chemical last year. Okay. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because there's the fear of, will it happen again? Unfortunately, you won't know until you try. And, like, oh my God, if it works, it's so worth it. Um, Last comment referring to the jealousy. Oh, yes. Gotcha. That it comes along with the territory. You're welcome, Elaine. I am not in touch with the SMC groups here. I know there's one that I'm sort of in on Facebook, like the Mocha SMC. They had some sort of get together that I didn't do, but we'll see. Um, I need one to be in Harlem. Like, I don't like traipsing all around the city. Maybe Midtown, and I could do it like after work. I'm so lazy. Well, I'm so quick to find an excuse because I'm naturally an introvert. And so, like, going to meet strangers is not like, it's not my jam. But yeah, I do need to connect. It's on my list to do. The first thing we're going to do is the library readings. And so, which I need to get on that because now we only have 3 weeks left to do it. We'll see. We'll see. Um, it's hard though, because I feel like even on YouTube, I've learned like just because you are single moms together doesn't mean you necessarily have a lot in common. Do you know what I mean? Like all of us single moms on YouTube are so different, like personality wise and background wise. So that part gets challenging. And I really I don't want to like have friendships just based on one sole thing in common. So if we have something else going on, I would love to bond with those women, but it does get challenging. So we'll see. My main thing for him right now is like strong male role models, which is why we'll probably be in California a lot, just because that's where my family is and where those folks are. So, and we'll be back in December. I was gonna go last month for his christening, but there was a lot going on, and then I was like, boarding the dogs is expensive. When I came back from the last time, it was like $800. We'll just round it to 1,000 to board the dogs, and I'm not in a position to take the dogs with me and the baby. Like the baby and his equipment, not his equipment, but like his stroller, car seat. That's enough. So yeah, we'll see. But I will look. Boston Girl. That is actually a good idea. I should look into it again. Um, oh, thank you. I hope he has a good future. I'm just trying to set him up for success, support him in whatever he wants to do. Like, I'm not casting any of my ideas or thoughts of what his life should be like because it's definitely his life. I think that I put a lot of pressure on Cheyenne in the beginning because when I got pregnant, so many people were like, you ruined your life. You like me, I ruined my life. So I was like, I have to be successful. My kid has to be successful. And the truth is, she doesn't. It's her life. Like, she didn't ask to be here, but it's definitely her life. And she has 100% agency. And so I don't want to like ever have him question his agency, right? And so that, it's just something I've learned over time. It's his life. And so whatever, my job is to shepherd him and guide him along that path and not to dictate. Because he, at the end of the day, he doesn't belong to me, right? None of us. We all belong to ourselves. We don't belong to anybody else. And so I just want him to be happy. I want him to be happy. That is a good way to look at it. When I get in a mode, I tend to tune out the world because there's still so much negative mindsets when it comes to IVF, and you have to not let it play into your thinking. Absolutely, especially amongst women of color. I noticed there can be a lot of negativity. I think any negativity, we have to block it up. And I'm the first one to admit I was getting sucked into it. And I'll say that's part of my psyche as like a reformed people pleaser. Because I'm like, why don't they like me? Why are they saying that about me? Why are they being cruel? And honestly, it's not even about me. That's their own thing. That's about them. And so I'm going to let them roll with it. And I'm going to like not be afraid to shine and go on. So yeah, don't mind me commenting, but my 5-month pregnancy is from a 6-day blastocyst with that was graded 2BC and wasn't pre-genetic tested. All her anatomy scans and tests came back normal. Yay! I did not test my embryos either, and I did not do the NIPT. What is it? Non-invasive prenatal testing. So yeah, he was looked great at his 18 week scan or the 20-week scan, the anatomy scan. They did it at 18 weeks, and he also was like his heart came back fine because we did that a fetal echocardio because he's an IVF baby, so that was fine, and we did the nuchal translucency. So visually he was fine, and I was okay with that. I chose not to do the NIPT because if it came back, one, it's called a test, but it's really a screen. And if it comes back like highly likely, then you have to do other tests, which is what is it, the CMV or the amniocentesis. And I knew I wasn't going to do either one of those because there's a risk of miscarriage, and I wasn't going to risk it. And if I had a child with Down syndrome, I was okay with that. And so, and if I had a child that was not going to live long because of some genetic abnormality, I was okay with that too. But I was like, this baby's coming earthside. And so, I don't know. And maybe that's why God was like, okay, you're ready. I don't know. But yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad that she is doing well. Yeah. And I think that's important too, because I see on so many boards where people get caught up in like the grade. What was your grade? What was your, like, dude, it's not a spelling test. Like, you know what I mean? So, if the doctor is okay with it, or if the doctor, I shouldn't say okay with it, like they're meant to support you, but if the doctor is saying there's a chance, I would go with that and not be like caught up on the grading. Because I think in the beginning I got swept away with a lot of that. Like everybody on the chat boards wants to like check your stats, like what's your AMH, so they can give you their opinion about your uterus and its capabilities, or your embryo and its capability. You know what I mean? It gets a little weird. So I feel like some of that stuff, whatever my AMH is, doesn't have an impact on you and what your AMH is. It's not a 1-for-1 because AMH is not an exact count of like how many eggs you have left, right? It's a snapshot of your reserve potential. And so some of those things, but yeah, I'm glad that you share that, because some people get stuck on that. Like, it has to be a 5-day, has to be a blah, 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 whatever. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Happy Friday, Melissa. Oh yes, thank you. Okay, so did you guys know like this half year thing is a thing? My friend was like, "Oh, you have to get. I can't wait to see his half year pictures. He's 1 month away from being half year." I'm like, "What, is that a thing?" And she started sending me pictures of like people on Instagram. That went right over my head. I've never seen or heard of that before yesterday, but now I got to get with it. Oh yeah, I was gonna. Oh, he's asleep. Sleep. I was gonna show you guys. Like my friend brought some stuff over for him. Yesterday, and then I have a team within here. Hold on, let me put my boob away because he's knocked out. Oh no, okay, no, spoke too soon. Okay, here you go. Lord Jesus, let me just show you what. So this is a one piece. This fits with his name, in my opinion. So I love this. And I think it's an outerwear, right? So he can wear, although, how do you guys do that? Because I've read that you're not supposed to put outerwear on them in the car seats. He might be a little bigger by the time. Oh, I don't know. He'll be that much bigger where he won't need the car seat inside the stroller, but we'll see. And then he can wear his outerwear. And she got him this, which totally fits with being a sugar bear. It's a whole one piece. This is so soft. I love it. She also got him, but she said pieces of it were missing. This, and there's a top, because she said she put it's like a diaper cover, but there's a t-shirt. He has t-shirts. Well, he can still wear it like this, but yeah. So she got that for him, and then I have been shopping for him for his back to school clothes. Although it's not a onesie, but it's okay. I can put a onesie on underneath him, but this is the top, and these are the pants. Or now you're awake. These are for you. Can I have my boo back now? Since you're not doing anything with it. And I have some Temu stuff that I'm going to open with you guys. I have to stay off Temu. I've been doing better though, but I'm not totally cute. Okay, how cute is that? It's like a little Letterman's jacket with the B on it. They had A or B. It has no significance other than bear, I guess. But this is so freaking cute. Look at that. And the pants. So fun. I'm having such a good time being a boy mom. And I was telling my sister, like, it's different being a boy mom, and I'm not sure why. And I'm not like one of those, oh, this is another one of those bibs. Like, I'm not one of those, well, I shouldn't judge. I shouldn't say judgy adjectives to describe them. I'll just say I'm not going to be hopping on my son's lap at the football game. How about that? But there is a different connection because you are the first woman they are going to love and express their emotions to. So you have to get that right. Like, I'm sure we've all dated. I'm making noises. If I were editing, I would be cringing. Hold on. Ooh, excuse you. Should I burp you? I guess, or not. I guess you're okay there. That was quite productive. So his arms go in there, and then this part is down here. I said it before, but some of you may not heard, like, why didn't you get the silicone bib with the, because the pediatric, the occupational, not pediatrician, pediatric occupational therapists don't recommend that at this age because it restricts their ability to cross the midline. This is so cute. It's more sweats. I got him warmer things because he'll be leaving the house, obviously, to go at least in November, at the end of November. But I mean, it's winter. He's going to leave the house, period. So the park, the pharmacy, wherever I'm going, he's going. Isn't that cute? So that's the top. Those are the bottoms. This is another one. Doo-doo-doo. These are all from Temu. Replay crew, I'll put my QRC in the, oh no, I can't do it in the description. I'll put my Temu link in there. Look at that. Oh, these are stickers. These, I don't know about this because this is an iron on. I thought it was a sew on because it's right on the knees. He may crawl those right off, but that's okay. Yes, there we go. Oh wait, let me take this down real fast. Hold on, ladies. Okay. This one, it's like a little Pendleton. Do they have those everywhere? In California, we call them Pendletons. Is that, I don't know if that's a name brand or not, but they must have them on the East Coast. It's cold here. But yeah, so he has this. He'll put a onesie on underneath there. You see these? And then, oh, they got linty from the top, but that's okay. So these are just black pants with the elastic at the bottom. So there's no snaps in these, but it's all elastic so they can, whoever's watching him can just pull it down. Yes. And then this, and this are his first pair of jeans. He had the overalls, which he's completely too long for, but we've been wearing them anyway to go outside. So there's that with the little elephant. His room is like elephant. Well, I guess it's elephant and bears. But yeah. Aren't these cute, the little jeans? Oh my God, I love it. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna put your head down for 1 second and I'm gonna take my boo back, okay? It's not a pillow. He's like, wait, where'd it go? Yeah. I thought these were so cute. So the pockets aren't real and the zipper is not real. It's just for show. But yeah, I thought those were so cute. Oh my God. And then I got the rewards off of one of my cards and cashed them. Well, not cashed them, but you tell them what you want. So I got gift cards for TJ Maxx and what does it say? TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods. I guess those are all the same store. And then Gap, Old Navy are the other gift cards. So, this I got for cutting up food because he's doing baby-led weaning. So like, it has crinkles on it, so like if you cut bananas or avocados, it has a little more texture so that he can hold it better. Okay, and this is color block. This reminded me of like 90s, 2000s, the early aughts, as they say. Um, it's a little lighter than I thought, but that's okay. So that's the top, and those are the pants. I'm like so excited for him. And he has two coats. He has one, it was a lightweight jacket. I posted it on Instagram if you're over there, but it's like a camouflage look. You want to say hi? Look, you squished your mohawks. Are you want to say hi to everybody? For the ladies who came in later, you say hi to Auntie Elaine and everybody else. Auntie Cheyenne. Yes, so it is yeah, I'm excited. He has some shoes. So the zeros he can't fit anymore. I haven't tried the ones, so we'll see. I haven't been putting them on him because we're working on getting the bottom of his foot flat, and so he needs to be barefoot around the house and standing up on them. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he wears them out and about. I need to actually go through like what they're doing with the other kids at school and see if that makes sense. Liberty, is there a reason why you're on Phoenix's blanket? Oh, I just said his name. Oh my god, I have to bleep that out. Let me make a B over there. Lord Jesus. I would never make a good superhero or a in disguise. Wait, let's see. I missed some. Oh God, there's lots of questions. Did I ever do a video? I did not do a video about that. It was so long ago, and it was like super traumatic. I might do one. I haven't done my birth story because it was traumatic. I get nervous too about having like telling negative stories. I don't know. I mean, ultimately it ended up positive, but it was very traumatic. But my 5-month pregnancy is from a 6-day. Oh, I read that one. Let's say, oh God. Okay. I don't know why, but after a while it resets. And so I've lost my place. That this can be a bit isolating. Okay, you guys are talking amongst yourselves. I was the first as a Black woman to put SMC on YouTube and got, you did? Oh my God. I was so grateful. Thank you for the persistence. Thank you. I appreciate it. I was so grateful that you put your story out there. Like, and I was hoping I would have had an IUI and had the baby, but I thought like your whole journey, and even your journey now is inspirational. And so I'm so glad that you did. I don't know why. Well, I guess I'm not going to say I'm surprised because I think I've been getting negative comments about my age, and I've also been getting negative comments about being a single mom by choice. Like, people, especially Black women, have been coming for me like, I am not gonna ever socialize this. Okay, good for you, sis. Move along. At first it bothered me, but now I really don't care. And somebody was like, you've ruined his life or something like that. And I'm like, so should I put him back? Like, where are we going with this? You know what I mean? Like, he's here, so move along. I had a 0.72 and got pregnant, and my friend had a normal, never got pregnant. God works. You never know. Oh, I'm thinking you're talking about your AMH. Yeah, at the end of the day, if what's yours is yours, like all those stats are just that. They're stats mainly so the doctors can give you a percentage of success, right? It's really for the doctors and for their, I mean, let's be honest, for their own statistics, right? They want to have the highest number of success rate so that people will continue coming to them. So that's why you have to find, if you're sort of on the edge, a doctor who believes in you. Like, if I'm stumbling. I squarely believe Dr. McConnell is the reason why I have my baby. Like, she believed in me. I left and came back to her. And she was willing to try. Like, but imagine that. I had 6 failed transfers with those guys, or I had 6 total transfers before I got to my baby. 5 of them failed. That's not good for their numbers. And I'm older. So it was like, I think I just get bucketed in the above 46 group, though. I don't think on the website or on the stats that they have to report to the American Society or American Society of Reproductive Medicine, ASRM. I don't think they report it as 50 and above. I think it's like 46 and above, but I wasn't good for their numbers, right? So when they're pulling all those numbers, it's really for the doctors because they go back there just like insurance people, right? And they put in the calculations. How many times is this likely to happen? How many times has it happened before? And they do like a predictive analysis. But at the end of the day, God has the last word, you know? And so, yeah, like I think we shouldn't be sidetracked by the numbers. I'm not saying being foolish if they say you have 0% chance. Well, they're not going to move forward if you have 0% chance. But their guidance should be like a barometer, but not the final decision or not the final point on which you make your decision. The halfway around the sun theme photo shoots. I thought about doing it, but it didn't bother in the end. Okay, halfway around the sun. I'll have to look. Like if it's gonna be crazy, it's obviously not my priority because we're getting ready to go back to work. Like I'm gonna be going back to work right before he turns 6 months, right? Because I technically started to leave before he was born. So um yeah, like it sounds cute, but we'll do it. I think with Cheyenne, and I think somewhere I still have these photos. We did a 3 month, 6 month, 9 month, 12 month. And it was like the first three were little ones, and then the 12 month was a big month, something like that. But for him, I've done the months so far. So I was gonna do a 6 month no matter what. I just didn't know people were doing like half year celebrations, but we'll see what happens. Um It was ultrasound and NIP, and as Tanika said, no amniocentesis because of the risk. So I'm comfortable with the results. The tests were repeated between two doctors. Oh, nice. Okay. Um, it's like being there. Yes. Oh my goodness. Um, oh, say hi. You gonna say hi? I don't know what's going on over there. You ready to get off of here though, huh? Oh my God. Is anybody watching the trial of did I say that? I said it at the beginning. Um what's his name? Charlie Adelson is on the stand today for the Dan Markel murder. And I'm like, oh my God, that is fascinating. And I hope they find him guilty. I love your channel, and Sugar Bear is so adorable. He's 1 month older. Oh, nice. Then my IVF baby as well. Okay, nice. I like watching the YouTubers who like the babies are 1 month older because I'm like, oh, what's gonna happen? Like before we went to our 4 month appointment, I was like checking different videos and seeing what people were doing. But yeah, it's nice. That's why I love YouTube. Like you can find your people on there. Hey Kay, how are you? The weather, it is warm. It is warm today. It's been up and down. It rained all weekend. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter for me because every day is like a weekend. Sometimes I forget what day it is. But yeah, it's warm now. Now watch it rain tomorrow. The only reason why I hope it doesn't rain on Saturday is because I want to go to the farmer's market with the baby and the dogs. And so we'll see. It is a crazy Black woman who is left by a man. A single mother gets hate. It is crazy. A Black woman who is left by a man, a single mother, gets hate. Do by yourself. Get hate. We are always in the wrong. We just need to live our life the way we want. Exactly. And I think it's such like a patriarchal thing for women to be chastising other women. Do you know what I mean? Like you're trying to chin check me for a man. Because what I do with my body, if I can afford it, it has no never mind on your life or your impact. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm out here having 10 kids and on the taxpayer's dollar. What business is it of theirs, I guess? I don't know. You know, they're just like, and I'm not responsible for representing all Black women any more than Oprah is. Because if Oprah is representative of all Black women, we all in trouble because my bank account is not looking like Oprah's bank account. You feel me? Like we have to stop putting so much pressure on ourselves as Black women or women of color. Like I'm just a human being. I'm living my life, doing the best that I can every day, I promise. We've had freezing really in Atlanta this week. I was so sure you all were having blizzard. Oh no. Mm-mm. At least not in Manhattan. I will say, like when Brooklyn had all that rain and water, we had some up here in Harlem, but there was definitely no flooding. Like the next day they had all of the street fair people going on and music playing, like bands were playing out there. So they had amps on the ground and electronics. So it was dry as a bone. But no snow yet. The only time actually, so I've been here, oh my God, 15 years. The only time, right? I got here in 2008. I think it's 15. that we've had snow around Halloween was when Superstorm Sandy was here. So it's a little early for us to have snow just yet. But a blizzard or freezing temperatures in Atlanta. Okay. You thought we were having blizzards. Yeah, that's so interesting. Oh my God. That scares me for flying because I usually have a connection in Atlanta to get to California, either Atlanta or Minneapolis. So, ooh, yeah, we'll see. Sarah's agreeing with Boston Girl. Sheree Clinton. Hey, Sheree, how are you? You want to say hi, Sugar Bear? Do, 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 do. Did you want to jump? Boom. There he is, putting weight on his legs. Good job. Good job, sir. Okay, now will you put them down? Oh my God. 27. Oh my God, no. I'm actually getting warm. It's 73 degrees in here without anything being on. And I mean, I get the morning sun because my apartment faces the east. So it usually is warmer in the morning, but. Oh, yeah. You noticed that too? Okay. Wow, I can't believe that. I can't believe it was 27 degrees. We'll be back in Manhattan mid-December, but yes, it's really cold. No ice. Okay, no ice, just cold. Okay, that is a little bit better. I'm ready for it to be chilly though, honestly. Apparently Sugar Bear is too. A person I thought was a friend did not approve, and I told her I wasn't asking her for child support. I'm not 16 teen mother. Exactly. Hello. Oh, I hit that one already, I think. Or yes. Or I hit the other comment from Sheree. Yes. Can I have a kiss? Okay. When did that happen? Yeah. Okay. Oh, you want to eat some more? Okay, let's try the other side. I thought you were done, sir. I thought you were done. Okay. Yeah, I don't get the judging of other. I just don't know why women police each other like that. You don't see men on there like, oh my God, you're letting down all men, and I can't normalize this for all men. Like, girl, sit down. Because who asked you? And then the other thing, it's either you shouldn't be doing it as a single mom. One, because they want single to be sad and broke and lonely. Like, I'm single by choice. I'm not just a single mom by choice. I'm single by choice because I am working on myself. And I'm not in a place to attract a positive partner right now because I'm digging up some stuff. I need to go through some things, right? And so there's that. The other thing I would say, if people are not shaming you for being single, then they're telling you, why didn't you just adopt? Which is, it's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. And I think it's more challenging for single women to adopt, at least in New York. Like, I believe if you were going to, don't quote me on this, I'm saying like public and not like a private adoption agency, but they don't encourage single persons to do that. Or if they do like permit it, you have to take an older child, I guess, because they're like, well, if you really want a kid, you'll take this one, right? Like you're not getting an infant. And I think it's hard. The first 7 years are their formative years. And so you don't know what's happened to them for 5 years. I am just not mentally equipped for that. Like, I know what I'm built for. And if there's a lot of stuff going on, I'm not the one to shepherd that soul. I'm also, having just worked through my own abandonment issues, I'm not prepared to do that with someone else's child, like help them through, because it took me a long time to understand that's the other person's deal, why they left you. But children, their job is to like literally be lovable, right? Because that's how they're going to get their needs taken care of. And so if someone does that mean they failed if someone didn't? No. It means something was wrong with that other person. Yeah, that's a whole other thing. But the whole like, why don't you just adopt? Or there's a lot of Black children who need blah, 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 blah. Like, and how is that my responsibility? Do you know what I mean? Like, the people who are called to that are called to that, but you can't shame somebody into that. And if you, oh my God, he's so nosy. Nosy. You doing do a booby dance? Okay. His nose is congested too. But yeah, like just, in the same way you should mind your own uterus, just mind your own business. To get on the internet and try to shame somebody behind a keyboard is just strange to me. But yeah, I'm not gonna dwell on it. To tell us he wants some mommy time. He wants some booby time. Uh-uh. All to myself. Yeah, he's not used to all of this activity early in the morning. Yasmin flower. It really depends on the type of adoption, the foster care system. So public adoption isn't going to give you a baby, right? Because the goal is to help families reunite and get better first, not adopt. That is a good point, right? That is their priority, is family reunification. And I'm just not down with the government like that. Like, I don't need them in my house. I don't need to fill out a paperwork, a report. I got enough reports at work to do. You know what I mean? Like, or if they're like coming in your house and telling you have too many electronics or whatever. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. But there are some people who that is sufficient for them. I'm a Black married woman who was following a Black woman who chose to be single to help me through. Nice. And that's the other thing too. Sometimes our people are not fans of IVF. I don't know if that's a thing, but like there's shame in using IVF. There's shame in if you have a donor. Like there's a lot. Like that's what I'm saying. It's just too much shaming. Like, don't you have enough going on in your life to worry about your own business? You don't hear police in mine. Like I can't. So, and I'm already grown. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need you to teach me like the etiquette you think you're teaching me, or the way things are done, or telling me it's against God, or what me and God got going on is between me and God. You're not invited. Are you okay there? No? Okay. Hold on. Okay. Oh, you're the one who let it go. Are you trying to figure out who I'm talking to? You're like, there are no people there, Mom. But yeah, I'm glad that you found me, and I'm glad that you found some information helpful. So I'm more set on adoption myself. It's definitely not for everyone, and no one should be pressured into it. Oh, good. Yeah. I just watched this story. You know how CBS has like their feel good stories or whatever. There was a nurse, a NICU nurse, who a patient came in 14 years old with triplets. 14 with triplets. And the triplets were in the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit, right? And she was buying clothes for the girl and for the babies and just helping support her because her family was not supporting her. I guess her family shamed her and that was going to help her raise her kids. I don't know. And then she ended up not having a place to stay. The woman adopted the girl. And now the girl has graduated from college. I think her twins are like 3 or 4. Or no, that can't be right. Yeah, 4 or 5, because she was 14 and we graduated at 18, right? So somewhere around there. But they were in the picture. And at first I was like doubly interested. I don't know why. Don't judge me. Because the woman was white and the girl was not white, right? She was Black. And the babies, I think, were biracial, the triplets. And then they showed the woman and her other kids and they were biracial. So I was like, okay. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm like, nervous about like, well, what are your intentions? Because sometimes I see like the interracial adoptions and I'm like, are they doing that for pure intentions? I don't know why I'm skeptical. I'm not judging them. I'm just questioning. I have questions. But yeah, so I don't know why I started talking about that, but I thought that was beautiful that she did that. Like she already had a house full, but she knew that this young lady needed her. And because if she went into the state system, they were going to separate her from her children and they were going to separate the triplets. And so this woman stepped in and I was like, that is so beautiful. Like, girl, many blessings to you, many, many blessings, because I don't know if I would take in 4 human beings on the strength, like keeping it a buck. I really think also that people are envious and it's hard to fathom that you are thriving as a single mom when others aren't thriving with a partner or they could never afford single mom by choice. Okay. But so, I mean, I guess Yeah, if they can't imagine it, I guess that's one thing. If they can't afford it, I guess then they're casting it on me. That's interesting because I do feel like since I've been on YouTube, a lot of people have been counting my pockets in ways that I've never counted any other YouTuber's pocket. You know what I mean? So that is an interesting perspective. Thank you for that, Kay. That is, yeah, that resonates. Um, I think the problem people have is that when a woman gets donor sperm to have a baby, she's actively taking charge of her reproduction, and that's what scares people. Well, because they want to keep taking charge of our reproduction, right? They want to tell us when we can and can't have babies. Like they're banning abortion everywhere, but so when we take, it's the patriarchal society. Like somebody's got to be in our reproductive system. I mean, I get it. As men, they should be scared because you are going to have to step up. Because there was this whole other, I did the one video on headlines and hoo-has about using donor sperm and the lack of black donor sperm, or the shortage, however you want to phrase it. And, a lot of people were in the comments, black people, like, oh, well, they shouldn't do it. And you should get married. You can't just be taking people's sperm and blah, 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 because it could be their obsolescence, right? It could make them obsolete. Because then you don't have to put up with foolishness. I know a lot of people who have gotten married just to have kids, because and I think we talked about this a little bit last time, but right. So men get to go out and be Tom, Dick, and Harry for everybody. The women are supposed to be chaste and wait for these men, but the woman's biological clock is ticking, right? If we follow traditional, you need to have a baby by 35. And so you might have to settle for a Rudy Poot in order to get your baby. And then you end up divorced. So you end up a single mom in the end, and hopefully he's an active participant, but your clock was ticking. And so you had to settle. And I know friends who were dating people who did not want to have children. And so they broke up with that person. Like they stayed with them for a little bit, like maybe they'll change their mind. But ultimately, they wanted to have children. The man did not want to have children. So they broke it off with them. Like there was no point in going to the altar with a man who didn't want to have kids, right? And so then they went and found someone who wanted to have kids. Is that person as equally compatible? I mean, maybe they are. Maybe I'm just like a cynic in that way. But, a lot of women end up settling because they want to have kids and they have to have a partner who has to have kids. So when you take that away from them, like they've been out hoeing, let them be out there and keep hoeing. You know what I mean? Like don't come in here because you think I hear a clock ticking. Um, yeah, and I think there was I won't say I prescribed to that fully, but there was probably a time where I bought into, well, because I was a people pleaser. I was worried what the people thought about me. Like, let's just keep it 100. And so that's how I ended up with a baby at 52. So if I can inspire anybody to like start sooner, because oh my God, I could have had so many babies if I would have started earlier. But we're gonna work on 2, and see, or 3 technically, but I'm saying 2 like little ones. But yeah, it's so powerful to not have to like wait on people, or not try to find the right one, or not trying to have that difficult conversation, or not trying to like be like, I really love this person, but I really also want to have kids and I gotta leave this person. Like that's so crazy, like head over heels in love with someone, but that is the deal breaker. They don't want to have kids and you do. Clearly can be your soulmate, right? If they don't want the same things you want. And so I just think it gives people options. I'm not going to like sugarcoat it and say everybody should be a single mom by choice, because you have to have a specific constitution to do this, right? And understand what you're up against, because the world is not at this moment set up for single parenthood. It's just not. But yeah, you got to figure that out for yourself. And for me, it was the most empowering thing ever. Yeah. Yeah. I hadn't dated anybody that I really thought, okay, this person's going to be a good father. And because I already have a child that has a father and what those difficulties were like, I wasn't willing to go into that again, right? Because I think even if I ended up pregnant by a person, a human being, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? They're all human beings, but like a person that I know, I would still have to have some type of contract that they're not going to be involved in the parenting, because things like religion come into play, and school, and like how much you're going to spend on your child. Like, I dated someone, like I bought Cheyenne a MacBook, and they were like, "Oh, you shouldn't have done that. My dad would have got me a PC." But well, no, he wouldn't have, because when you were her age, they didn't even have them damn things. Shut up. So like those kind of things. Cheyenne's stepmom was like, "You dress her too nicely." Like, what does that mean? Like, according to who? You? And so, again, it just like you have to like be on the same page with your partner, because otherwise it's going to be painful raising the kids. And if you end up divorced, especially, that's going to be even more painful, because the differences are obvious. That's what the whole Dan Markel trial is about. Like, he was raising his kids kosher. He didn't want them moving to Miami. And instead of the family working through that, they hired a hitman. You know what I mean? Like, these things are real. I mean, I'm not saying anybody should be killed over it, but in some people's minds, that's how exacerbated it gets. Yeah, I think you have to do what's right for you, long story short. And nobody knows enough about me to say, yes, I should or shouldn't do it. Like, they really don't. It is what it is. But yeah. They should mind their own uterus, though. I say that for sure. Sorry for the typos. I don't think about these issues until I see people's comments. People make other people's lives a problem for them. I personally don't have that amount of energy. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. In 2024, I'm not going to give it for the rest of this year and the rest of my life, I'm not going to give it the time of day. I don't pay them no mind. We all have one goal, to be a mom. Exactly. To be honest, a lot of people don't know about their fertility. I had no idea until I was helping someone else. No man doesn't equal no motherhood. Lesbians have it on lock. Yes, exactly. But the black folk, they're going to talk about that too. They talked about Jesus Christ and he rose again. So let them talk. Hey, Loretta. Good morning. Sugar Rush says good morning too. Let's see what else we got going on here. I'm white and will probably adopt transracially because internationally, considering the history of it all, I'd never fault any, oh my God, Black, Indigenous, person of color, person for being cautious about it. There you go. Thank you. The thing is, too, like, I'm also watching, like, I'm on the fence about the moms of biracial children who are all over TikTok combing their hair. Like, is that a great feat that you can comb your child's hair, or am I missing something? Like, I think it calls out too much of the differences, but I mean, that's just me. I know there's one on there where I feel like the child might be being abused, but you know what? I got to mind my own business. Like, it's all over the internet. So if that's really happening, hopefully somebody in the little girl's life can help her. But it's a little scary. Also, not all state health insurance pay for IVF. When I was in Georgia, they didn't. Now I'm Boston. They have a mandate. Oh, nice, to pay from IVF through healthcare insurance. Yeah, that's nice. Wow. Okay. Yeah, New York has some, but like my employer was not included in it. It depends on the type of employer, but they had it anyway. Like globally they have it. So I do feel bad for the people who have zero coverage. And that it definitely makes it harder. I don't know that if I had to pay, well, no, I know if I had to pay out of pocket, I don't know, like 100%, the whole thing, I probably wouldn't have had Sugar Bear, but my last 4 I paid for out of pocket. But like my 2 egg retrievals were covered and my donor egg retrieval was covered and 2 transfers were covered. So, and the medication, like I got my medication for like $60. I hear people paying like thousands of dollars for their medication, which just seems bonkers to me. Like pharmaceuticals got it on lock with the, like they're, baby. They need reminding to mind their own Cheerio money. Exactly. Don't be messing with my baby's Cheerio money. They really do. I think some people have a hard time accepting things they don't understand or aren't educated about. People tend to be followers and are afraid to go against the grain. Interesting. Yeah, and it's like they want to. I think those are like sheeple, and they want to rope you back in. Like, how dare you have a thought that's not like what the group think is? Sperm banks don't go after Black men. Interesting. I've read too, I think in that Washington Post article, right, that they interviewed Black men about it, and they felt like they wasn't enough money that was being offered, because I think it's only a couple $100 that they get, and then the abstinence part, which I get it. Like, I don't think it's a thing of like, oh, I have to have sex, but you can't have sex for 6 months until you're HIV/AIDS test comes back negative, and so it just and it's actually longer than 6 months because you can't have it for 6 months to be eligible to donate, and then they retest you, and then you start. So I understand that there are hurdles, but also, and that video is still on my channel. It's under the playlist headlines and hoo-haws. I think it was the last one. Sandra was on that one with me because she was in the Washington Post article. And so people, like men, commented of like, yeah, you should have to marry us. We're not just giving away our sperm. And some people were like, it's against God, like all kinds of things. But it doesn't mean we're going to stop. We're just going to find other sperm. You know what I mean? Like, make it make sense, guys. So yeah, lots of women with husbands are single parents if they tell the truth. Girl, go tell it on the mountain, or sir, or the they. Sorry, I didn't mean to misgender you if I did. But yes, that is a very, very true. Yeah, that's very true. Like men who don't even want to watch their own children. Like, yeah, truth be told. What is dressing a child too nicely? That's crazy. Exactly. And I'm like, I didn't even sleep with you, woman. I don't know why you're calling me. Like, I don't know if she was calling to say like the child support was too high and so I needed to dress my daughter differently, but like she literally had the nerve to call me that and tell me that. I was like, okay. And then I guess she wanted a bigger response from me, so she went into greater detail and I said, okay. Okay. And then I hung up the phone. Like, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it, but you don't have to share it with me. Um, so you're telling me that they wanted you to put less effort into her appearance, right? It was crazy. I mean, and listen, your how you send your child to school is how they're going to be treated. I believe that firmly. So they need to be dressed. The clothing needs to be clean, like shoes, all that. Hair needs to be combed, because like I was one of those parents. I would go to the school and sit in the classrooms, and even with me sitting in the classrooms, the teacher would talk crazy to the kids who didn't have their hair combed or who were like unkempt. I'm not going to say the little girl's name, but we did a carpool, and the other little girl, like her clothes wouldn't even be clean. They literally smelled like urine. She would get in the car, you'd just be like, come on now. But they would be wrinkled, like she had pulled them out of a pile of clothes on the floor and put them on. You know what I mean? Her mom didn't come her, but her mom had 4 kids, so I think it was hard for her. So when you have kids, you do have to be mentally prepared to care for them properly. But they were not nice to her. The kids were not nice. The teachers were not nice. So that was very important to me. Like she's leaving the house as a princess. She better come back as a princess. Like, period. And not like princess, because a princess is a pawn in her daddy's game. But you know what I mean? Like, she left here well cared for. She should return to me that way. I think it's important. I mean, in a society where pretty privilege is a thing, I think it's absolutely important that your child be well kept. And also, like, who are you? Like, I'm going dressed, you know what I mean? And I'm well kept. So why would I not have my child? Like, my child is a reflection of me. Do you know what I'm saying? That would be weird. That would be weird to me. Yeah, it was just crazy. That is a huge pet peeve of mine. Like, why are you being praised for literally being a parent? You should know how to do your children's hair or take the care to get it done. Right, exactly. There's so many, at least on TikTok, there's so many videos of the moms like, oh my God, I can comb my daughter's hair, my biracial or my mixed daughter's hair. Like, okay, great. So yeah, that Black women have such a hard time taking care of their hair is annoying. It's just different. Oh, is that what oh my God. Yeah, I don't have a hard time taking care of my hair. I mean, I don't know. It's the things that they're perpetuating, and they're perpetuating negativity on their own child's hair by saying that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's challenging or it's somehow mystical. It's just different. Yeah, that's a good point. It's just different. Not harder, not easier, just different. And so, yeah, it drives me a little bit crazy. They get a lot of views though, so maybe there are women out there who are struggling. You know what I mean? They found their group. Maybe there are women who are struggling and they watch those videos to get inspiration. I will tell you though, speaking of being able to take care, I love it when I see men doing their daughters' hairs. I know we shouldn't praise the parents but I don't know. I just feel like that's such a sweet connection, and I feel like the overarching message for the little girl is like your husband should be this loving. Let your husband go in the shower and wash your hair, sis. Like whatever it is, like I love that. Yeah. And like I'm also just very much aware of like it's important how I show him love. Oh, he's gone to sleep again. Oh no, you gave me the side eye and then you laughed. Are you faking like you're asleep? Oh my god, he's cracks me up. Um yeah, it's important that he be able to express his emotions, especially as a Black child in America, because I don't want him to not be able to express his emotions and the only thing he knows is anger, right? Because that makes him dangerous. That makes him a threat. And so I want him to be able to say when he's sad, when he's happy, when he needs to cry, because that was not a thing that was afforded to my brothers growing up. And it directly impacted their path in society. Yeah. So, ooh, I got choked up a little bit. But I was telling my sister, it's very different being a boy mom, and I couldn't articulate it. So I had to think about it. And I feel like that is the biggest difference. Is I have to make sure he understands his emotions, he has command of them, he can identify them, and that he knows how to love, like openly and freely. Um, yeah. And I'm not saying like love everybody, but when it is time to love, like that he's not afraid of that. Um, It sounds like some stepmommy. Oh my God, you don't know the half of it. They got together when she was 5 or 6, and it was a journey. Thank goodness I don't have to speak to her now. The comments are like, "You're so brave, amazing mama. Only the strong survive." XO, like calm down. Exactly. Oh my God. Good morning, Lisa. How are you? Happy Friday. As a mom of biracial kids, I would have liked to see videos how to better care for it, but I did my best and learned with my girl. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the video. I listened. I barely did my daughter's hair, and I don't have a biracial child. I'm just not into like hair, and I admire even the ladies who have boys who are like doing their hair. I'm like, God bless you. That will not be me. Um, yeah, but I did get up and comb her hair every day. A lot of times she had a puffy ponytail. It was like oh my God, what is that? Not is it Boondock? I think it's Boondocks. Or am I mixing it up? It may not be Boondocks, it may be like Boondocks, but that was her hair. It was like pull back. And this part was all slicked and then this part was up. And it had like little ribbons and whatever else. But yeah. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. My dad has never touched a hair on my head, so yeah, that's a great example of a dad and husband partners. There you go. He was like, I don't want to do it. My girls are 22 and 24. So, did they have aunties who helped you with their hair? Because I guess that would be if you have no idea. It's so interesting because I have people in my family who have straighter hair. I'm not gonna say it's straight, bone straight, but it's straighter. And then I have some who have like super curly hair. So I've seen the gamut. I've not combed any of them. My mom didn't play that. Like, don't go somewhere and let people play in your hair. Because when I would go to my dad's and my sisters over there for my dad would always, because I had long hair as a kid, would always want to touch it. And I'm like, no, my mom will kill me. So, but I would love to take my hair down and get on the back of the motorcycle with my dad. Like that was the best feeling. No helmet back then. Good Lord, the 70s. How did we make it? But to get on the back of his motorcycle and just let my fro blow. Let my fro. No, that was so glow. But anyway, that was an amazing feeling. But yeah, I'm trying to think, did any of my aunts ever comb my hair? No, but hopefully I would think if it was new hair for you, somebody would help. So I guess videos can be helpful. I just don't understand like the back flippy of it all of like, oh my God, look what I did. You didn't cure cancer, sis. So I think there's always a learning curve with learning to do any type of hair if you never have before. If someone sat a white child in front of me to do their hair, I might be a little lost. Fair enough. That's what I'm saying. Like we don't know all of them, but it's the backflips I think that do it for me. Like, yeah. I'm trying to yeah, there are some girls who are really into like doing other girls' hairs. Like the twins, my sisters would do that. And that's why my mom was like, don't let them play in your hair. But they also had like those little doll heads that had hair. They were just for doing, or they might have been for makeup too, but not at that age. But they look like those makeup heads. Like it's a bust, has a head full of hair. They were actually had some people of color. They were light bright and almost white, but they had some color. And they would like braid their hair and twist their hair. Like that was not me when I was younger. I was very much a tomboy. So I never got the let's play in your hair gene. Yeah. Um Andera, how are you doing? Are you asking yourself, hey, yay, hey, how's it going? Or is there another Andera in here? I'm so confused about that comment. Hello though. I'm natural now, have been since 2017, was relaxed for years. My mom was black and my dad was white, black, Native American. I had a hard time figuring out what my natural hair needed. Not a hair person. There you go. I love being natural. My mom always relaxed my hair growing up because I am tender headed. I think she just didn't want to deal with me ooching and ouching. And I was fine with it because I did not like getting popped in the top of my head with a hairbrush. Hold still. It's like, that's not helping. But yeah, I do like my natural hair. I mean, I'm okay to straighten it too. I had a time like I was trying to figure it out in LA because I stopped getting perms after I had Cheyenne. I think I had one after there. I feel like I did, and I tried to do it at home and it went bad. I honestly feel like there was one more time, but I remember stopping when I was pregnant because they weren't clear about what the impact was of pregnancy. Um, but I had an employer that told me I could not wear my curly hair to work, so I had to. It was still natural, but I had to straighten it. There's a law against that now in California, but this was like 2001. And it came up in my performance review too. Like they told me I had to go into the HR lady's office. And then it also came up in my performance review. I was like, okay. Which is weird because nobody tells white people they can't wear their hair the way it grows out of their head. You know what I mean? We've come a long way though. So I guess, yeah, let's celebrate the proper care of natural curly hair. How about that? I'll look at the positive side of it. I'm not going to be doing black flips, but I'm glad that it is being celebrated and those girls, the crowns of those young women are being honored. I'm glad we talked about this. Yeah, I'm glad we talked about this. I never felt special for taking care of my kids. Yeah. Yeah, because I think as moms, we figure it out. Like even if there's a gap and we don't know something, we figure out how to do it, and we support our kids. I get that I'm not biracial, but I went natural in 2011, and it took me a few years to learn how to do my hair well consistently. But my family is also black. No one had my exact hair type. Exactly. That is so true. Nobody has my exact hair type, and nobody else in my family is natural. And so that is another thing. When I first started, my hair was so dry, and so people would just be like, it's moisturized now, but I didn't do anything when I got out of the bed. But yeah, finding that right mix of your hair, and if no one else has gone natural, like that's a whole other thing. Obviously, it feels great in New York, like nobody's staring at me, like, and maybe now in California nobody would, but it was 15 years ago that I left Los Angeles, so it wasn't all the rage then. You were seen as a little more radical with natural hair. Yeah. I can't even do my own hair. I'm so uncoordinated. I'd do a backflip if I could do as little as a ponytail on a kid, no matter what the hair type. Okay, I appreciate that. Sorry, Shannon, I wasn't implying that if my comments sounded that way. My apologies. Okay, you guys are talking to yourselves. Racism at work, been there. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of new laws, and unfortunately or fortunately, since George Floyd, it's been very different at my job. Even though this job that I have in New York is way more progressive than the firm that I was working at in LA, but it was also like a Hollywood firm. So like they had clients who were famous. And so I guess that was going to be offensive. That's why black people have to band together too, because or at least if they're not going to band together, I'm not saying I'll jump on the same bandwagon, but not tear each other down, because we had black clients and I'm sure the black clients didn't mind my hair. So you're telling me that the white clients do? Like, that's a situation, because then they also would mind the client's hair if that's offensive, and they're sitting in the reception lobby area, or the reception, with one of the clients who has natural hair. Isn't that offensive? If I'm sitting at the desk, I was a secretary at the time, an assistant, an admin assistant. If my hair is offensive, like, you know what I mean? Make it make sense. So I see it all the time, like, put my kid to bed and clean, look at me, like, look at you doing your job as a mom. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if people feel like they have to do that as content creators, but I see people who aren't like content creators specifically just on Facebook and Instagram doing that. I'm just like, okay, girl. But maybe they need to be lifted up and they're seeking some sort of confirmation, not affirmation, seeking some validation. They're seeking some sort of validation of because they're not getting it at home. I'm not sure. Black hair is over exaggerated on social media. My mom relaxed me and my sisters as young girls because she was a single mother who didn't have time to fool with hair. Relax was easy for her. Yeah. Yeah, I just feel like don't make it more strange. Like it's not weird. It's different. But that could come from my own baggage of being judged about my hair too. I'm glad the little girl's hair is getting no, girl's hair. Is that right? How do you say collective hair? I don't want to be. What is that dad joke? Did you get your hair cut? No, I got them all cut. But I'm glad their crowns are being celebrated. I'm not taking anything away from that. So if that might be an inner struggle that the mom is having that she is announcing it. And so, yeah. It's some kind of trend going on right now. Going natural in 2011 in Georgia was quite an experience. I had so many awful comments. Really? So, and see, I was never a wig person. I feel like at least on YouTube, a lot of the Georgia women have on wigs. So that was foreign to me. Like the only time I've ever worn a wig is for Halloween, and it's like one of those cheap synthetic wigs. So like the wig thing is different for me. I'm fascinated by it though. I will watch the videos when they're like, because they kept saying like um, what is it with the edges? Something that they made the edges invisible. I can't think it. There's one specific word that I was like melted. I was like, how do they? Because I'm thinking like melt and heat on the skin, and so but that's not what they meant. So I was like, it was like they meant like it was made invisible. But so I started watching some of like how they put on wigs for that. So that is like, but they're not doing backflips for it. But that is fascinating to me too. It just feels like it would be a helmet. It would feel like a helmet though, or a hat all day, which I need to be able to go on in here and scratch my hair, like but God bless him. And that explained the popping. So I guess although people with braids do it too, but like more so I guess women with wigs are popping because they can't get in there to scratch. Cause I didn't understand that before. I was like, maybe it's like Morse code. Or remember Lucia was it Lucia? No, Carol Burnett would pull her ears like to signal to her parents at home, like that was her high on TV. So I was like, maybe like this is some sort of Morse code when people are like popping their head, but it's a wig thing. My mom and sister have same texture 4 type. My hair is 3B, so she was like, I don't know what her hair needs. That grease wasn't it though. Scalp screaming, hair weighted down, hair way down. Right, right. Um, glitter sauce. Ma'am, you're gonna have to watch the replay of it. We just in here having a good time and lifting each other up. Very true. Don't think about that. Don't know what someone's dealing with. Right, right. And maybe the child had cancer before. Now they're celebrating that they're combing their hair because they have hair to comb. You know what I mean? Everybody has their own walk. Social media is an attention grab for a lot of people, and I don't believe they all have honorable reasons as they saw a trend and want the followers. Yeah. I think it was a trend for a minute, or it was trending, or however the kids say it. But yeah, it's crazy that a job would tell someone how to wear their hair. I'm from Alabama. I'm sure natural hair is still frowned upon by others. Some Black people have prejudices, Black men especially, with natural. Really? Oh my goodness. Okay. Working at the same time. Okay, no worries. Got us off work. I'm up early. I was not up with the chickens. I got up at 6, so I might have been up with the chickens today. But yeah, like hair is such an interesting thing, and it's such a personal thing. But yeah, they called me into the office, and told me I could not wear. And of course, the HR person was a Black person. She had braids in her hair, but they were her vacation braids. Like, I was just like, how do you have the audacity to fix your lips to tell me about that? Not even like, we don't like that particular style, but they were just like, you need to wear your hair straight. It needs to be like when you interviewed. We can't have your hair like this. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, what do you say? You know what I'm saying? It's not like I had too much cleavage showing. It was just like, wow. That was very demoralizing. I will say that. So I feel for like these little kids. I remember the one kid had to cut his locks off before a game. And like, I feel like I was a full grown adult and felt dehumanized. I can't imagine a child going through that and your parents aren't there to stand up for you. Like, yeah. Um, but Gavin Newsom passed the Crown Act, so they cannot do that anymore. They passed the Crown Act while I was here in New York. So you cannot discriminate or make a hair type a condition of employment. So, I mean, I went home and straightened my hair. Yeah, I went home and straightened I needed that job. I had went back to school to get my degree. I graduated university in 2002. I got this job and I had just left Boston Consulting. I couldn't keep up with that job and go to school and take care of the baby. And so, because Cheyenne was born in, oh my God, Cheyenne was born in 94. So, what was she, 6? Something like that. Yeah, it was 2000 or 2001 because I think I started there in 2001. So she was 6 or 7. No, because I feel like, was she in kindergarten? I can't remember. Oh my God. I'm trying to figure out by what school she was going to. But no, yeah. She was either in kindergarten or first grade. She was at St. Timothy when I was there. But anyway, don't you hate it when you can't remember that? But I needed that job. So that's the long story short. I needed a job that would support me and my schoolwork. And so I stayed there until after I graduated. I graduated in August of 2002. And I think I was out of there by November of 2002. But yeah, it was, you know, incredibly dehumanizing. Social media loves when white people do things black. They've been talking about that on TikTok. A white person on something considered black always gets praise. Oh, interesting. Well, I guess it started with the Kardashians, and they blew up. So maybe people are trying to blow up. I don't know. My cousin told my aunt and her sister, y'all need to go get a relaxer. My aunt said, Felicia, by Felicia, maybe said natural best. He told them Felicia got good hair. It's sad. Many influence are straight naturals. Oh wow, Not has good hair. Any hair? What was that Chris Rock show? Which was so ironic. He had the documentary about hair and then got slapped for talking about Jada's non-existent hair. Any hair on your head is good hair. That was a thing growing up. I think I've told you guys this before. I'm an old lady, so I repeat myself. But growing up, that's what I heard. Like beautiful women were light skinned with good hair. And not like told directly, like sit down and do this, but uncles, grandpa, all them. Oh yeah, because he married that beautiful gal. She had that bright skin and that good hair, bright light and almost white. Well, I was none of those things, so therefore I was not beautiful. You know what I mean? You gotta be careful about what you say around kids. Words are very, very powerful. So yeah, it is very interesting. It's very interesting. We shame ourselves about it, but we have to learn. I mean, and that's the thing too, right? Like growing up, I remember the women would wear those, not even headscarves, those things that I don't see them anymore now. But it's sort of like a bonnet, but instead of elastic, it had that braided piece of fabric, and they wore it out in public, like to cover up their hair. So, and I'm assuming this enslaved people had their hair covered. I know they weren't getting relaxers, right? And so they weren't even getting time to care for themselves. I'm sure their hair was like dried out. So you would just cover it up like out of shame, right? And so yeah, I don't want to go into all that. We have overcome that. So we're gonna keep on moving forward and let's not do it to our girls going forward. Boston was so different from Georgia. Oh my God, there's a list of things. One, you don't have to interact with as many people, which seems weird because in LA, everybody has a car. And in New York, most of us don't have cars unless you live like far out in Brooklyn, far out in Queens, or far out in the Bronx. But New York is the perfect place for an introvert. So I love it here in that respect. there are people are not necessarily wearing their wealth out here, right? Because we are all on the subway. There's no need to like look flashy on the side unless you're broke. The broke people always want to be flashy. So that's how you know. In LA, everybody is on the fake it to make it crew. Everybody is, acting. I was an actor. Everybody, so it's like a different thing. There is a lot more like connection to nature there, though. There's a lot of hiking. There's the beaches. So I was able to do a lot of that and connect with Earth. Here, I haven't hiked since the pandemic, but I was looking into stuff of like carrying him and going out there and going hiking. But so it's easier to connect with nature in LA, in California, period, really. Um, or you can go upstate here in New York, but then you got to rent a car and do all that. But yeah, the vibe is different. Like people are busy here and hustling and moving about. You have the four seasons, so you're going about your way. But I really honestly go to work and I enjoy the arts, but I don't like hang out with a lot of people, where LA was like very social. But again, I was also acting, so I had to do a lot of networking, and you know, you kind of had to be seen as was part of your job. And yeah, I have to think about it. There's many more differences, but I have to think about it. There's a lot more appreciation for art and culture, like the museums here, the best in the world, or at least the best in the US. There's Broadway here. There's a lot more culture here. There's a lot more grittiness here too. So it helps keep you grounded. I think in LA, like a lot of people get caught up in that. If you never wanted a Ferrari in your life, you move to LA, you might want a Ferrari, like depending on the type of person you are. Like that is not a vibe here in New York. Like there's no need to walk around with your wealth outside because you might get robbed, like quite frankly. You don't want to be on the subway being flashy. You just are screaming for someone to take advantage of you. So where in LA, people are encouraged to be as flashy as possible. Not everybody. I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people are. But it's definitely, there's a lot more healthy living, more accessible food. There's a lot of food deserts here in New York. I've had my food delivered, like groceries delivered, oh my God, since 2010, way before the pandemic, just because there's a lot of like food deserts. When I lived in Brooklyn, there wasn't a good market by where I lived. Like whole organic foods, that was not a thing. And so now I know there's a Whole Foods in Brooklyn. Again, it depends on what parts of Brooklyn, because there's like the more uppity parts that are overpriced and near the water. But like, why would you pay that much and you could be in Manhattan? Like I'm 3 blocks above Central Park, you know? But the Brooklynites are very interesting. Like was a project I was working on before I went on leave, and one of the ladies was definitely like a quintessential Brooklyn mom. Like if you ever watched Real Housewives of New York, that one mom and dad that lived out in Brooklyn, like they were quintessential like Brooklynites. And they're always like, they want you to come out there and you're like, it's so far. And like, it's not that far. Well, it's not that far for you, but for those of us who live in Manhattan, that's far. Everything we need is like within walking distance. So yeah, it's different. It is like, but it's interesting that Boston is so different but I guess Georgia is the South. I've not ever lived in the South, so I don't know. Like I lived in Illinois. Yeah, I guess I've only been to Boston like to go to the universities. Like we had some projects at work that we had to go there. I haven't gone to like visit anyone, so I don't know. Like I've been to Philly to visit people, and I've stayed for weeks at a time, but I haven't done that in Boston. I don't know. Boston scares me when you see it on the TV with the thick accents. There's like a high level of racism in Boston, right? Or is that like back in the day? Um, I mean, I guess that could be any city, but I'm a little scared of Boston. Oh my God, so many. Okay. All good hair is, all hair is good, all skin is good. Children remember everything. We have to be careful. If we have prejudices, we need to address them to not poison our children. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. Like, I just grew up thinking I will never be beautiful because I'm never gonna be like bright and almost white with like silky hair with the good hair, you know? That's like a horrible thing too, to as a little girl to have that feeling. I'm sure they did not have that intention, but words are powerful. You have to be mindful of that. Words are very powerful. Oh, I cannot pronounce that word. My dad is Cap Verdean. Oh, it's a race of Cap Verdean? My dad is Cap Verdean. My grandmother told my dad to marry a Cap Verdean or white. He married three dark skinned black women. He knew what he wanted. The dark skin hate. And my father's family, oh, really? Oh my God. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's crazy. I am shy and introvert. I think New York would be too much for me. LA, too. I like the suburbs. Okay. Yeah, I don't have to talk to anybody if I don't want to. Like that's a beautiful thing. Because people are busy. They're going, you know. What were you in? Is it streaming anywhere? I want to George Lopez. I did an episode. I'm trying to think of what would still be on. And House. That would probably be the only thing. Oh, Nora's hair salon, but I think on the digital version of it, I don't know if I've been cut out of it or not. But yeah, it's I mean, I wasn't doing a lot. That was like obviously because I was in an office job where they're telling me what to do with my hair. Whenever I'm in New York, I feel small, and sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not my fate. Oh, that makes sense. You can do anything in New York and no one will care, and you can be out all day and no one will talk. Exactly, exactly. Oh my God. Um, Although I was gonna say LA is the land of good morning, but there are some people in my office who are like on that good morning kick. Like sometimes I don't want to say good morning. Like I don't. It's not. Maybe it's not a good morning. Is it a question? Is it a statement? I like Grand Rising because that's empowering, but I don't always want to greet you. But there was somebody who was on my team, my old team. Um, she had a manager. Her manager reported to me, so she wasn't even my direct report, right? She was my direct. And she would get mad if I passed by her and didn't say good morning. And I'm like, sometimes I don't even see you. Like I have things on my mind. And I remember at one of the I worked at an accounting firm. I worked at a couple of them in LA. And one of the partners at the firm, Steve was his first name. What was his last name? Franklin. Steve Franklin every morning would walk around the office. It was ultimately like a circle, right? He would walk around the whole office saying good morning to everybody. And everybody was like, oh, here comes Steve. And they expected that from him. But it was so unusual that everybody was like, oh my God, he said good morning to everyone. You know what I mean? Like, and I do remember when I was younger, my great grandma would be like, don't come in here and not say good morning. We didn't sleep together last night. But when I slept in her bed, I wouldn't say it. And I'm like, Grandma, we did sleep together last night. But yeah, you can walk around and not say hey Ruby and not say a word, and it's perfectly fabulous. You like the chatty conversation. There are times where I get in a mood where I want to be chatty, but at heart I'm an introvert, and so I can be chatty, as you guys can see, but when I get off of here, I'm not going to say a word to anybody else for the rest of the day, right? Because that's how I recharge. I'm going to be right into this television and right in the chat with these people when when the state starts cross-examining the defendant. And so they'll be, yep, I was on House MD, Yasmin. Many families so sad. I've never heard this before. Many older generations were bad about that light skin and dark skin stuff. Interesting. Oh my God. No, the racism is here big time. You would think we are a blue state, but if we are segregated into our own parts of town, no, gentrification is happening. Or now gentrification is happening big time. Okay. I have someone who used to work for me. Well, he was on my team who bought a house in Boston. And I want to say he's Jamaican. He has an accent. But I still stay in touch with him. So I was so proud of him when he was like, I got a house, I got engaged, I'm living with my fiance. I was like, oh, that's awesome. I need to check on him too, because his sister was getting ready for university. So I think this year she's graduating. I need to reach out to him. Daniel is his name. So New York might be for me, although I'm terrified of riding subways and trains. Be walking everywhere. There are buses here. Now I'm terrified of the buses. Like I just cannot do the buses, but I will do the subways. I know people here who swear by only the buses and won't get on the trains, but I don't know. It's just like people are out in the street doing foolishness. I'm like, we could be run over, we could be run into. But I'm okay to get in an Uber and make it make sense. I know. And a bus is bigger, right? It could take a bigger impact, but I don't know. Was Hugh Lowry nicer? He was. I don't remember the name of the episode, and I didn't have a big part. I had like 2 lines. It was Jeremy Rimmer was in it. He was like the main special guest, and oh my god, Todd Bridges' son was in it. And I was the parent of one of the kids that their kids were in with. I can't even remember exactly. Something happened. I remember I was like chasing a doctor down the hallway talking to him. But yeah, that job was my last job that I did in LA, and it was right before the writer strike. So I shot it in 2007, but it didn't air until 2008, and there was a writer strike in 2008. That I still get residual checks from because they played it so many times, and they're still playing it. So like a week ago, I was gonna post it on IG like in support of the strikes, of the writers strike and the Actors Guild strike, but it for some reason it wouldn't upload. I think because I was trying to add a fundraiser to it. But yeah, many moons ago. I'm still in the guild though. Well, New York might be for me, although I read that one. Definitely, yeah, have a visit. You exactly. Yeah. And now there's so much more technology. Like when I came here, there was no smartphones yet. Like I came here with a BlackBerry, which I don't think BlackBerry is well, not a touch whatever. There was no iPhone, let me say it like that. So now there are apps to help you navigate the subway. I had a big ass piece of paper, and my friends would be like, "Don't pull it out. You look like a tourist. You're gonna get robbed." And I'm like, "Listen, I gotta get where I'm getting. If somebody want to come at me, come at me. But I can't be like trying to squint on a little piece of paper trying to figure out where I'm going." So, but quickly I got acclimated, and I would write it in the daytime. People are mostly getting robbed back then anyway, like during the commutes when it's packed. So like if you're in the afternoon and there's not a lot of people, you can see if somebody's like clocking you or not, you know? So one of our neighbors just told me yesterday that I was so quiet. She never knew when I was home. I thought that was a weird thing to say. Yeah, why does she need to know when you're home? She's clocking you. Oh my God. Or she was trying to. But it could be a compliment too. Maybe the last neighbor was like really loud and stomping around, and they could always tell, you know, they'd be happy when that person left. In the South, we're taught to say good morning, speak when entering a room. It's considered rude to not speak, just how people raised. I have my social comments, but an introvert at heart. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm guilty of knowing most of my neighbors' schedules. I can't help it. I have new neighbors. I don't know their schedule. They don't know mine. Although I feel like they must be working from home because I can see them. Like under my door, I have a fabric, like a what is that called? I don't know. It fills up the cracks mainly because I'm sensitive to like smells, and so I try to block out the other one. But you also can't see me moving around, but I can see their feet moving. Like when I go to check the mail in the middle of the day, they moved in while I was in the hospital having the baby. So I did say hi to them. We talked about that last time. I did say hi. So, but that's it. I didn't introduce myself. I just saw last night, Matt. Yes. Oh, it's why you wanted. Now you know they were shooting in LA though, right? But yeah, I saw that he drowned after all those trouble with drugs, and he got clean, and then he drowns. That's so crazy to me. She was so like forceful and wanting to know like everything about me. It was just a little weird. Yeah, that is. I don't need new friends like that. I'm gonna say it till I die. I don't need new friends like that. Where are you going? What are you doing? Where do you work? Da-da-da-da-da-da. I hate telling people where I work because then they always want something. I'm like, I can't help anybody in your family get a job. Yeah, it's just like people on LinkedIn will reach out to me, Black people. I don't know them from Adam, and they're like, "Can you recommend me?" No, nope, I don't know you. Like, I'm not gonna put my reputation on the line to recommend you, and then you come up in here and act the fool. Like, that's a bad reflection on me. Right now, I know who is home and who is at work. I kind of like it though. It's nice to be noticed being single. If something happened to me, they know. That's true. No one is creepy though. That is true. Like if they haven't heard from you, and I did that with my old neighbor, Lon. But he has a house in the Hamptons, so he would be back and forth. But somebody had delivered pizza to his door, and it sat there for like 2 days. And then I was like, "That's strange." And so then I had to call like the property management team, and or actually, I contacted the board, and then the board sent me to the property manager, which was confusing because that guy's name was Lonnie. And so I was like, I don't need him for anything. I just need to make sure he's okay because he's an older gentleman. And so I was like, give him my number if you guys get in contact with him. So he was like, oh yeah, I'm fine. He was like, they probably meant to deliver it for the people downstairs. But like, you don't wait for the people to come to the door. You just deliver the pizza and walk off. And then it was weird because the pizza sat there for 4 other days. Like after the building people knew he wasn't here, like, why don't you tell the man who vacuums to take that pizza? Anyway, it is good to have somebody looking out for you in that way because you could be like in there. I mean, I have the dogs, so hopefully they would alert somebody and not eat me. But yeah, that's a good point. If your pattern changes, because I'm always watching the true crime stuff, then somebody could call for a welfare check. Because like if I went silent, I mean, I don't talk to my mom every day. I don't talk to my sister every day. So like my neighbors would be my first point of rescue. I never offer up this info. It's just kind of a known thing about the building, right? To see how I like it. Definitely visit. I knew when I visited, I came for the first time in 2002 after 9/11 because the tickets were super cheap. And then I came back 3 more times. And the fourth time I came was to look for apartments. Like I knew New York was the place for me. Okay. Which show? House and George Lopez. Hey Quan, how are you? Right, I don't want friends like that. Yes. People who need, people who want. Yeah, that people either want like a connect with the job. I learned that the hard way, like back in LA, my cousin wanted to connect to an agent and I like referenced her, but then she would like not go on auditions, not show up. It just looks bad. You know what I mean? And so it's like, if I'm recommending you, the person who I'm recommending is awesome, and the person I'm recommending you to knows that you're awesome because I don't recommend that many people. You know what I mean? Like it has more value for everybody involved that way. And so, yeah. But I'm always wary of people who come wanting. Like what you need? Like what do you need me for? What do you want? Maybe I'm just an old skeptic, old cynic, but yeah. I just moved, had the neighbors from hell. They fought like animals, yelling, screaming. Oh no! Stomping, slamming doors. Multiple people reported them on several occasions. Management did nothing. Police. Oh my God. So see, I would take a quiet neighbor over that. Who was I telling that to? Somebody when I was in the brownstairs, upstairs neighbors were always fighting, getting drunk, fighting. I would go up there, ask them to be quiet. They would get mad at me. I'm like, I'm trying not to call the police on you guys, but come on now. Like, what are you hooping and hollering? And then your dog is going crazy. Like, it was a lot. It was a lot. That saved my Gmail life. Pattern show something was wrong. Right. You remember that family member? I think it was a lady in Illinois. Like she didn't check in on the daily Wordle game, and they sent someone after them. But see, so the opposite is true too. So like when I first moved to LA, everybody would be like, don't have the same pattern because people can follow you home, right? And so like you don't want to do the same thing every day just in case someone's following you. Because even if you like see them, like people are good at it. I don't know what was going on back in those days. Or they would try to get into your like garages for the big buildings that had parking underneath. Yeah, I remember that being one of the things as a single woman, like break your patterns. Don't have the exact same. Even if you're like Monday I do this, Tuesday I do that, but don't every single day go the same way home. And so it's interesting. But yeah, patterns help people know what you're doing, right? Both good and bad. So you have to like pick your poison. Um, we would miss you. Where am I going? Who are you missing? Something happened to me? Somebody snatched me? When I worked at Clear Channel in the ATL, I told no one. Only my friends and family knew. That was before LinkedIn. Oh my God, right. All is well, standing firm that this is our month. Yes, Quan, name it and claim it. Name it and claim it. Oh yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, between I just can't help you get a job. Unless you're already in the industry, but like I have a list of resumes because sometimes people do freelance work. I have a list of those resumes and I'll hit them up and see when something comes up, but it comes up few and far between. So it's just very interesting. What was that? I remember that joke when people are like, I think it was a Facebook joke of like people posting like, "Oh, my job is hiring. Hit me up in the DMs." And somebody was like, "Is McDonald's hiring or not? I don't have time to get into your DMs." And I thought that was funny. Yeah, I'm not a recruiter. And oh, the other thing, people would send me like scripts and whatnot, and I'm like, you can't do that. There's a whole process, and I cannot accept it because if that comes out as a movie or a TV show later, you'll be like, oh, I sent it to so and so. Like, there's a proper process to submit your work. But yeah, it's interesting. Pattern. I'm trying to think if something happened to me, who would notice? Um, like, hopefully the dogs would alert. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have like a pattern of talking to anyone, or every day is different. I don't come in at the same time. I don't leave at the same time. I got to think about that. I also need to get a fire extinguisher. That's been making me nervous. I saw some news report. A woman had 4 of her kids in there. She went to the store. I don't know why she left them in there. Number one, the oldest one was like 5 or 6, and the youngest one was in diapers. House caught on fire. There was a mishap with the what do you call them? Extension cord. 2 of them died. So I was like, oh my God. I guess they were asleep. I'm not sure. But like things like that just make me know. Obviously, I'm not leaving Sugar Bear alone. But those kind of things. I'm like, what if I had a grease fire or something? I need to get a fire extinguisher in here. So anyway, I'm going to do safety baby proofing this weekend. So I'll get a list of everything, get all the plugs in and all that fun stuff since he's scooting around. I feel like he's definitely going to be crawling in the next 2 months or so. So we'll see. I try and mix up the directions of my walks. Pattern is also a really cool song. Oh, really? Patterns by a Band of Skulls. Okay. I'll have to check that out. I'm always looking for new music now, especially since I've been doing reels and stuff. I know like the popular thing is to get the trending music, but I'm like, I want to be different. I'm a nurse girl. I'm a nurse. A girl came to our facility as a travel nurse. They assumed I knew her because she was from the same city in Alabama. She was horrible. I told them I don't know her. Some still thought I did. Oh my God, that's hilarious. I'm sorry. When you go back to work, no call, no show, they will look. Oh, yes, definitely. That is very true. No call, no show, they will look for you. I feel like that is what some of these criminals don't realize, like these folks killing off their parents. Who was it? Joel Guy Jr. That was the first thing. They were looking for his mom at work. What was his name? Chandler Halderson, looking for the daddy. Or looking for the mom and the daddy at work. And then what was the one in Florida who offed his parents and his brother? They were looking for them. What was his name? Grant Amato. Like, guys, people are gonna miss him at work. That's a good point. So yeah, somebody will definitely come looking for you. I meant if your pattern changed and you weren't uploading anymore, we, your subscribers, would miss you. Oh, and reach out to your daughter just to make sure. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Baby, different music, say no more. Check out Meadow. Okay, I will look. I use Epidemic Sound. That's the service that I use to pull music from, but I'm definitely gonna do some research. I'll put in Meadow today because I have to finish I have to finish 2 videos, editing them, so I'll do that today. Thank you for the tip. Patterns. I'm gonna start with that one and see what it is. I'm not confident my team will look for me. I work for a Swedish company. They are too reliable. Oh no. But your neighbors know your pattern, so you're covered one way or the other. Has anyone reached out to you for a reality show? When I was going through my journey, by the time Ava was 2, I had 2 different companies try and get me. Yes. There was a couple of them. I did not get selected for any of them though. And that was before I decided to do donor eggs. But also it worried me because there was a couple people on here who've done that and they had to take down all their videos, and I feel like it tanks your channel to do that. You know what I mean? And my goal was more about connection and outreach than about, I don't know, being famous about it, I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I feel like I guess they would still, if you did a reality show, you would still get to connect with the people who are watching, but I feel like it would be on a different, I don't know, but I guess you would get more money up front. I'm trying to figure out how to make more money on YouTube as of late. I'm gonna schedule something with another content creator like who does classes, because I feel like I keep undervaluing my work, because when I give people a price they automatically say yes. I feel like, oh, I should have asked for more. Like there should be a negotiation. So we'll see. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't do one now because I wouldn't want the baby out there like that. I'm planning to only show him until he's 1. I just don't want to, it should be his choice if he wants to be on the internet, because it's forever ever. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, did you accept any of them? Did you interview for any of them? Now I'm curious. You should do a video on that. How is your treatment going, by the way? I'm like, I only posted on Instagram this week. I'm one of those like post and ghost. I haven't followed anything, but I know you were, I'll look later. For some, good beginner metal, Sabaton, Powerwolf, Schwangs, Wind Rose, oh my god, and Bloody Wood, Nightwish. Okay. I need to take a picture of this because I'm not going to go back and watch this whole thing. Hold on 1 second. Interesting. Fun fact, the guy that I moved to New York with was, I don't know if it would be called metal. I think it was more rock. But yeah, he was oh shoot, I had it on portrait. It's looking at me. Okay, here we go. Thank you for those. I'm gonna look. That's the beauty of being a nurse. We work different days, not set. I finish different times, come home different times. I try and drive different routes to leave it. Yes, perfect. Because you never know what wackadoodle might be out there. If you figure out YouTube, let me know. They claim shorts grow. I have 11G on IG and 2G on YouTube. Okay, I will definitely. I'm not a gatekeeper, so I definitely like, let's get this money. I shorts has helped it grow, so I'm experimenting on the Becoming Tanika channel, because it, when I post it grows, and when I'm not there, like, but for this channel, for the, well, I don't know which one you're watching on because I'm broadcasting on both, but for the Simply Tanika, posting the shorts of Little Man has brought more people to the channel. Like, you know how you look in your analytics, like how do they find you? So in that regard, it's good, but they don't make a lot of money because I mean it's a short, it's a different revenue model. But at least they're paying for them now. At first they weren't even paying for shorts. So it just depends. But yeah, I'm trying to figure out like what price should I be asking for when I do partnerships. In the beginning, I did the free ones, right? I would like regret that I did that now. And I remember I did a one for free, and then they came back and I gave them a price, and then they didn't want to pay anything. But I'm like, obviously you make money, otherwise you wouldn't be back. You know what I mean? Like, be fair. So it's just an interesting thing. But I want to do, because I was doing like a rate card, but they always accept it. And you know, like it's like if you go for a job and you um give them like what your salary requirement is and they say yes right away, you know that's a red flag. Because I have somebody, if when I'm hiring people and they give me a number and I'm like, oh, that I know that's well within my budget, I'll just say yes. If there's no negotiation, that means you just came in low. Like there should be some type of negotiation. And so that's why I'm like, how do you have that conversation? Like how high is too high, you know? Because some lady that I met working on another project for a friend was like, she used to get like $70,000 a post. I mean, she has a large Instagram following, but I'm like 70,000. Like, I'm scared to ask for like 900. You know, so like, what is? Anyway, I'll definitely let you know. I am in remission. Okay. Oh, good. Thank God. They don't like to say remission because there's no cure, but no disease. Yes. Okay. Yeah, my mom is in remission too, so I know what you mean. She still has to go for all her tests. It hasn't been 5 years yet, because she was diagnosed in 2020. So yeah. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad to hear that it's at least in a place that it's like not a factor every single day. Cause oh my God, it's crazy. She had to go. to chemo. It was either, I think it was twice a week. It was, but she never had to have radiation. So it just is weird. And then I had another friend, a guy friend, who had, and he only had radiation. So I'm not even like, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. God bless you. They set the narrative, so I wasn't really down. Then the second one talked me into it. And then I wasn't selected. They made my friends send in a video. Gotcha. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, because I had asked someone who had done the one on Facebook, like 9 months and counting, I think. Well, I'm not gonna share because then you guys will probably figure out who I'm talking about. But yeah, it was just some things in there that I was like, I don't want. I'm not down with that. What site do you go to for the opportunities? Some come to me, and sometimes I don't necessarily go to a site, but I'll see like other like things that I'm interested in. Like, I don't know, like right now I'm looking at KiwiCo, and I'll reach out to them. I used to use oh my god, what is it? Social Blue Book, but I haven't been active on a site um in the last year. I can't remember what, I can't even remember. But a lot of those, they either wanted affiliate where you have to sell some, like you only get money if you sell a product and you get like a very small percentage, which is annoying because you have to put time and effort into recording the video, editing the video, and you're not getting any money for that, right? The creation of that content. So I don't do those. And some people would just give product and want to do it, and I did, like, so that's why I stopped using those other sites. But there's a lot of them out there. There was like a Pink City, there was, or something like that. Oh my god, there's a lot of them out there. I don't remember. But at that time too, I had like a much smaller channel, but I was going on my subscribers and not my views. It's really the views that matter, because most channels you have a lot more subscribers than you have views. You know what I mean? So like I may get 2,000, 3,000. I think a video that I've done over the summer got like 5,000 views in the first 3 days. And so that is more important than like the total. Because I think I have like 12,000 subscribers on Simply Tanika. I don't get 12,000 views, and I have like 1,600 on Becoming Tanika, and I don't get. Last year I did. I should have kept with the momentum, because I would get like the number of subscribers was about the number of views, which was like a weird thing. It wasn't 1 to 1, because you know how it shows you how many people are subscribed watching and how many are not, but it would even out to about the same number, which was really cool. But I left the channel alone for like 6 months, so I'm basically starting over. But yeah, and that's what I want to figure out. I think I'm doing my rate card wrong. And then some people are like, you shouldn't even give them the rate card. You should use that as reference. So I'm just trying to figure out like what the right mix is, because it's already awkward. So I just want to make it a little more seamless so I can be a little more polished in the conversation. And this YouTuber who had done it was like showing her paycheck, and I was like, oh my god, I could use $10,000 a month from YouTube. So yeah, I was like, I got to get this part together. I watch a few nurse vloggers. One said she had to sign something with HR in regards to posting and her job. It's a lot of controversy with nursing and stress on social media. Oh, interesting. Okay. So in order to post about her job, she had to talk with HR. Yeah, I don't ever post about my job. But that's interesting. I do watch some nurse. What is her? No, she was a nurse. She's a forensic something now. It used to be the Midwest mom, but she got divorced and moved, and now she just had a baby with her new boyfriend. She had twins before. What, I think her channel is just her name. I can't remember it because I subscribed to her as Midwest. I'm pointing because my TV's over there, as Midwest Mom, and then it's Anna Pouch, maybe Anna Pooch, something like that. But she must have talked with her bosses, because oh my god, it was a whole drama. Her boyfriend's ex called the job to report her for recording, and then she came on her channel and was like, this girl did blah blah blah, and I had already told. But yeah, now she's like, I can't remember what it's called, something forensics. Like she shows up when people die and like assess the scene, the forensics of the body or something. Anyway, I digress. 70K per post. Yeah. Lifestyle. But lifestyle, fashion though, I mean, some of those YouTubers, you can see it, like they make millions, right? They have big followings and a lot of eyeballs. So, and a lot of influence. But yeah, I'm just trying to do like a couple thousand a month. You understand? If I could do 10,000 a month, that would be nice. And yeah, but it has to make sense with my job. Do you know? Like it's all those things. But 10,000 a month total. Like, so not, it was across all her platforms. So in part of her review, I need to contact her today too and schedule my time. But in part of her review, she looks at all of your socials and like gives hints on that, or tips, not hints, but like what can improve, where the weaknesses and strengths are. Um, I'm assuming it's like a SWOT, like strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. I just want to know about the pricing. Like, how does that conversation go? Because a lot of people don't talk about it. So the pack, she showed her receipts. We get paid on what, the 21st of every month, but it was delayed because I think the 21st fell on a weekend. And so she was like, here's what I made from this. Like I just started making money on Instagram because I didn't realize you had to create a Facebook business page to get paid on Instagram. Like, and I had some reels that were fire a couple years ago, but I never got any money for it. And I guess over time it dwindles. But so like, but I make like $50 a month on Instagram. So it's just, I don't know. What is the formula? Because I'm doing the work. I just want to know the formula. My channel is all over the place. First living in the ATO, then single mom by choice, then autism mom, then, I'm just living my life. So I don't really have a niche. I think that's okay. I think it's also about personality. Because like those daily vloggers, it depends on what's going on in their life is what they're talking about, right? Either trying to conceive, or if they're working from home, or if they're a stay-at-home mom. Like that encompasses a lot of things. So I think that's okay. It's really like the age, and YouTube will tell you what your demo is. Like, is it more men than women? More women like 25 to 35? Like that's what I lead with. But yeah, I got, well, no, that's not true. Like the ones that I've been paid the highest have been related to TTC, but there's been other things like clothing and whatever that I also got paid for. But that's like not my niche. I don't do any wigs because I don't wear wigs. I see a lot of people make a lot of money on wigs, but Anyway, okay, this one is asleep. I'm going to finish my coffee. I'm going to get to hopefully the cross examination that has happened. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning, ladies. I hope you have an amazing weekend. And it was good to catch up with you all. So, yay. Love you guys all. Talk to you later. Bye.